all that are sharing the show, telling people about the show, yada, 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 etc., etc., etc. Appreciate every single person that has listened to us over these nearly 6.5 years now. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button no matter where it is you listen to this podcast, because you don't want to miss this Monday show with me, but you also don't want to miss Brian every single Wednesday with his unique brand of comedy, culture, and liberty on Electric Liberty Land, and you certainly do not want to miss John Odermatt's incredible, hard-hitting, inspiring look at the broken criminal justice system every single Friday on Felony Friday. You get all three of these podcasts for the price of one, and that price is free, my friends. That is what we deliver, the most unique brand of libertarian variety show you're going to find this side of the Mississippi, and I don't care which side you're on, because it's true either way.
You're 6 minutes away from a live episode of Free Talk Live. Listen live at freetalklive.com.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,583, silver at $18.10, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,925. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, Harvard public health scientist Dr. Eric Feigl-Ding is describing the current coronavirus outbreak as bad, at a, quote, thermonuclear pandemic level bad, end quote. The virus has killed 82 people, infected almost 3,000 more, and spread to multiple other countries. And Dr. Feigl-Ding has been tweeting about it nonstop since last week. It's the third time since 2003 that a coronavirus has made the jump from animals to humans. Feigl-Ding, who holds a dual doctorate in epidemiology and nutrition, began by expressing that he is deeply worried about the outbreak and indicated it may be silently contagious, a fact that has now been confirmed by China's National Health Commission minister. On Friday, Dr. Feigl-Ding prefaced his calculations that the reproductive value of the virus is 3.8 by saying, quote, Holy Mother of God, end quote. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. A Peruvian indigenous group has won a lengthy court battle to save their land from oil exploration. The land is located in the Amazon along the border between Peru and Brazil. There have been plans to turn the land into an oil field until the scheme was blocked in court by a network of local indigenous tribes. The Mind Unleashed reports the tribes were represented by the Institute of Legal Defense, who spent over 2 years pursuing a lawsuit, demanding that the government stop authorizing the development of oil lots in the Loreto region of Peru's northern Amazon. According to the IDL, the judge in the case ordered the establishment of a strict protection zone around the indigenous land. The contested land will remain in the control of the Regional Organization of Indigenous Peoples of the East. If not for the lawsuit and subsequent ruling, it would have been very likely that the Amazonian land would have been destroyed by oil companies. The Associated Press reports a staggering surge of U.S. troops into the Middle East since last spring. Over the past 8 months, the United States has poured more than 20,000 additional troops into the Middle East to counter the escalating threat from Iran that peaked with the recent missile attack on American forces in Iraq, according to the AP report. That comes despite President Trump's multiple prior pledges to bring the troops home, especially related to Syria and Iraq. The anti-media reports that following the Soleimani assassination and subsequent Iranian ballistic missile retaliation on Ain al-Assad Air Base, where Friday it was reported that 34 soldiers suffered traumatic brain injuries. The trend in force buildup looks to continue. The top commander for U.S. forces in the Middle East told a gathering of Marines and sailors during a speech aboard the USS Baton on Thursday that they could be there for quite a while. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
After vetting the 37-year-old for factors such as looks, screen presence, and film credits, Hollywood insiders unanimously agreed this week that area man Dennis Kiernan lacks the sheer star power necessary to carry a major motion picture. Industry experts spoke to reporters today about the Charlottesville, Virginia resident, who they say just doesn't have what it takes to crack into the A-list.
Love him or hate him, I think we can all agree that Dennis Kiernan is not a bankable star. He's got to have sex appeal, talent, charisma, and most importantly, that X factor. I should want to sleep with Dennis. I should want to be Dennis. Do I want to be Dennis? No.
Experts agreed the Virginia native and father of one does not have the widespread appeal required to secure a distribution deal with wide release, while also saying they had no reason to believe Kiernan would ever be capable of delivering the type of powerhouse performance that generates buzz at Sundance, Cannes, or Comic-Con.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. Call in and talk about whatever you want, or not. You can just listen to us babble on if you like. The number is 855-450-3733. It is the Monday night Kickass edition of Free Talk Live as I continue on my quest to be trained on how to host this thing. With you tonight, it's me, the captain.
And I'm Ian.
I don't know who I am.
We'll just call you nobody.
Yeah, it works for me.
All right, cool. We are here tonight. Some things in the news that have, well, come to my attention, and a few topics that are near and dear to my heart are, of course, cops. And I have long, as a science fiction fan, I have long wondered how come nearly every show that I watch on the television eventually turns into some sort of a cop show, a procedural, a buddy cop, something along those lines. It kind of makes me...
Wait, they're not cop shows and then they become cop shows? Because I've never seen a show do that.
Oh, yeah, man. Like,
The Expanse had it for a little bit in the first season.
Yeah,
right?
like they started out like as a cop show. But like, sometimes a show will go a season or two and the writers will go like, what haven't we done yet? And they'll either do one of two things. They'll either insert a musical number if they're completely out of stuff, right? They're devoid of any imagination whatsoever. Or
no.
It'll
you
digress.
Haven't seen the musical episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, one of the most brilliant pieces of television ever made.
Sounds good.
It was incredible.
Or it'll digress into some form of a cop show, right? There'll be some interaction with law enforcement, and then, it turns into every cop show you've seen before. Like, the partner dies, and they go through a sad experience, and they have to re-partner up with the new rookie cop. It's this trite, sort of repetitive, every cop show that you've ever seen. And so I stumbled upon this story. This is from Shadow and Act. A new study, crime shows are a PR machine for law enforcement.
You think?
Well, I mean, I know that, and probably everybody here in the studio would agree.
When I'm home, I watch Blue Bloods with my mom, the Tom Selleck thing.
Oh.
And I mean, it's a fun show, But, it's just like you have to explain sometimes to older people that that's not how cops really are.
And that's kind of, my position here with not only just the blatant cop shows that exist, right? Because there's so many of those, but then a non-cop show that sort of becomes a cop show reinforces.
Do you have an example of this? I've never. The people weren't cops and then they suddenly got jobs as cops?
No. Like, let's say the show isn't based, it doesn't advertise itself as a cop show, but then it sort of becomes one, right? Or at some point during the movie, they have the whole buddy cop thing suddenly appears out of nowhere, or somewhere during the season it comes in. But what happens is it conditions people to react to cops in a certain way, as opposed to the way that they should, which is, not talking to them, right? Or limiting their interactions.
Yeah, everybody always answers the door when the cops come to the door.
Yeah, on every television show.
My favorite one I did,
right?
I stole this from Facebook, but when they were coming over to the Keene Activist Center all the time, I had plenty of time. Because usually you're all surprised when it happens and you're not on your best thinking, but so they come to the door and I said, nah, I don't feel like dealing with you guys today. They said, we just want to talk. I said, how many of you are there? They said, 2. I said, talk to each other.
Yeah. And you spoke when you didn't even have to. I mean, that's another thing that they don't teach you in these shows, is that when the police come to your door, and I'm not an attorney, this isn't legal advice, but it's my understanding you don't have any obligation to speak to them. You don't have any obligation to even answer the door.
No, you don't.
And that's what they show every time in these television programs, is everybody always comes to the door, they always open it, and they always talk to the police. You don't have to do any of those three things.
Right. And frequently
you don't have
just
to
let
open
them
it
in.
yourself, but I will tell you that if they have a warrant, they will kick it down.
That's true.
That's true.
But if they don't have a warrant, well, unless they're feeling mischievous, they probably won't.
Most of the time, if the cops are knocking on your door, they don't have a warrant.
No.
If they have a warrant,
they're usually kicking it in at 4 a.m.
They will likely kick it in, or they'll be pounding on the door, and they will inform you relatively quickly that they have a warrant and that you better open up, or else they will bust the door in. That is usually how that situation will go. If the police are just knocking on the door and quietly standing out front waiting for you to open it, it is likely a contact situation where they are trying to contact the people on the inside of the home in order to gather probable cause, in order to either conduct a search of the premises, perhaps with permission, because they don't have a warrant to do that, or to find a certain person that they're looking for, and if they can find that person, they will put that person under arrest.
Well, the other thing is, if you let them into your house, and they decide to start searching, they can destroy it. Which happened to a woman down in Georgia, I think. She tried to sue the police because she consented to a search, but then they took axes and chopped her walls up.
Wow.
And I don't know if she was gone when this was happening or what, or if she just was too afraid to throw them out. But yeah, they'll trash the place.
Well, this article, kind of opens the door to the discussion, really. Crime dramas are the cornerstone of primetime television, but according to Color of Change's groundbreaking report, the genre is reinforcing policies and attitudes surrounding the criminal justice system that hurt people of color the most. In fact, the report suggests...
It hurt me too.
Well, I'm a colorful person, right?
I am a person of colorlessness.
I've been called a colorful character.
Indeed.
In fact, the report suggests that the amount of negative bias and misinformation in the crime procedurals makes them a PR machine for law enforcement and the criminal justice system as a whole. The report, entitled Normalizing Injustice, the Dangerous Misrepresentations That Define Television's Scripted Crime Genre, revealed that out of 26 procedurals, important topics such as racial bias in policing and the judicial system went largely unchallenged or underexplored. People of color, specifically black women, were generally not cast as victims of crimes in the series, despite being victimized in real life by violence. In fact, the report cites something showrunners, network executives, and producers are to have said to their writers when writing about victims, viewers will change the channel if we make the crime victim black. So you'll have to rewrite those characters and make them white instead. So we have producers, network executives, and writers.
Have you ever cared what color somebody was on the TV?
I personally have
not.
If
they're like green or something, I'll adjust the thing. But other than that...
Well, if they're green, I'm probably watching an old school episode of Star Trek where Captain Kirk is trying to bang the green lady.
Well, yeah, there's always that. Or that guy from the Flintstones.
Oh,
the alien.
Yeah. Oh gosh,
It's been too long for me. I'm sure I've seen it. But...
Oh man, I can't remember his name. Yeah. So meanwhile, people of color were usually painted as the perpetrators of crimes. Characters who represented advocate groups such as Black Lives Matter were often portrayed as naive, misinformed crusaders instead of informed fighters for justice, and more often than not, black judge characters were used as figureheads to dispense white perspectives of law and the criminal justice system. In the 26 series studied, all but 5 were helmed by white male showrunners.
Now, if
Surprise!
an opinion is held by a black person, is it still a white perspective?
That is an interesting question.
It's just one thing that really annoys me is this idea that everybody in some group is going to think the same way, whether it's white people or black people or Chinese people or anything.
Is this story more about white and black and the behind the scenes of the TV shows, or is it more about the police?
We'll get into that, I assume. What do you think? Do cop shows misrepresent things? Give us your thoughts. 855-450 free. This is Free Talk Live.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com. I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet. Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting libertycon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's libertycon.com.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
There are basically two types of advertising: direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. Call in and talk about whatever you want. Take control of the show. Our number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. In the studio tonight, it's myself, the captain.
Hey, I'm Ian.
And I'm nobody.
And we were talking a little bit about cop shows and sort of how police are presented in television, how some shows seem to divert into cop shows, and that type of a thing. And we'll continue talking about that. But first, do you want more business accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you received the rewards. This is a first, as far as I'm aware, in the industry. I don't know of any other cryptocurrency accepting app or cash register app that rewards people for setting up businesses to take cryptocurrency. So it's pretty exciting. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. That's anypayinc.com, and you can get rewarded for setting up a business to take cryptocurrency.
Very exciting.
I'm pretty stoked about that. We can go to the phones right now. We have Larry from Indiana on hold.
I do want to talk more about when we get to it, this story about, why are the police so represented as they are on television, which is to say very worshipfully.
Oh, yeah, indeed.
Because nobody can broadcast without a license from the government, for one thing.
But it's different, and we can get into it, because I don't think the police are paying Hollywood like with the military. Like the military, they'll give you a bunch of military equipment, but you got to give them the script, and they punch it up to make it as pro-military as possible. Right. I don't think the same thing's happening with like the Los Angeles Police Department, but maybe it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I know.
Why would it not? I mean, the New York Police Department has a foreign policy.
Mm-hmm.
They have like a substation in Israel.
That's true. Yeah, and what was the comment? The New York City Police Department is like the seventh largest army or something along those lines?
Yeah.
I don't remember the exact quote, but it was somebody, one of the New York politicians.
No, it couldn't be the seventh largest army because there's like 40,000 cops.
Okay, so maybe
that's not many.
I don't remember the exact
North
quote,
Korea has a 1 million-man army.
But it's scary anyway. But let's go and talk to Larry in Indiana. Larry, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Hey, life imitates art, right? So they figure if you watch the motion pictures and they have that message going out that you will receive it, but a short, funny story about cops, right?
Okay.
Then I'll get to my topic about Kobe Bryant. Here's what happened. My brother he said he was hitchhiking through Georgia one time, and he stopped to take a rest on their underpass. There's that steep hill. And then he woke up and some pot-bellied sheriff tell him "Hey, boy, what you doing up there?" He said, "Nothing, taking a rest." He said, "Well, come on down here." He said, "Why?" He said, "I want to talk to you." He said, "I ain't coming down there." He said, "Come on down here, boy. I ain't gonna do nothing to you." Then he got mad and said, "Come on down here, boy." If you pass that, "Why?" He said, "I want to arrest you." It was peach picking time in Georgia, and I guess every vagrant they can pick up, they can take him and make him do something around a peach orchard. But anyway, Kobe Bryant, it's funny when he told me.
Slave labor, by the way, is what he's talking about.
Yeah. Well, they didn't eliminate slavery.
Yeah, but anyway.
They made it legal.
This Kobe Bryant guy, right?
What about him?
Hello.
Yeah, I heard he died in a helicopter crash.
No, but I don't see why people are so happy about him and the people that are like him, these professional athletes, that we have to have our taxes increased to build their stadium.
Oh, yeah.
And also, they ruin our kids by having stuff manufactured in Vietnam for pennies an hour.
How does that ruin our kids?
Well, that does let kids get cheaper stuff.
When you have to buy your kid a $400 pair of tennis shoes, you think about that, right?
If I had kids, I would not have to buy them a $400 pair of tennis shoes.
They'll force you to do it if they seen you had the money.
I don't think so.
In any case, I just think people like him and entertainers in general the black ones are mischaracterizing the black culture and getting away with it, and they're benefiting off of it. And I think there
now,
ought to
in
be
what
a
way are
sound
they?
rejection.
So hold on. What is black culture, and how are they mischaracterizing it?
Right.
They are, because black people are thrifty and they're well-mannered people. But these rap videos and the other movie portrayals of black people is really messing it up. And
isn't it possible that there is more than one black culture? I mean, there's a lot of black people out there. No? You think you're saying all black people have the same culture?
Well,
yes,
it's ridiculous on its face, Larry.
Okay, here's an example of how I can understand what he's saying. There was I heard a TED Talk about this, and it was a rap song where it was a black guy rapping, but he was rapping about shooting. He was saying specifically he wanted to shoot some black people. And I was thinking if there was an artist who was putting music on the radio about shooting white people, he wouldn't get his music on the radio. He absolutely he would not get on the radio.
Right, but what does that have to do with
selling black people crack too? And they talk about the women like a dog. And how they done this and do that to some woman or something. They let that pass as black culture.
Yeah, I mean, I get your frustration, right? You're saying that particular culture does not represent you or many of the black people that you know. But wouldn't you agree that there's a certain gangster culture out there that is, populated by both blacks and whites and Hispanics as well? That there are.
It's contrived because whatever they say in their music is self-destructive and will lead you to prison. So
I'm not disagreeing.
No, that's not true. As a musician, Larry, as a musician,
they're not musicians.
But you're not a black musician. You don't have a. You can't comment.
No, but I'm a white musician, and yes, I can.
Yeah, I'm a musician myself. I'm a singer. So
all right, well then hear me out. Hear me out.
I
had to attend this thing called The Truth About Rock. And it was a bunch of religious folk who were of the opinion that listening to heavy metal would turn you into some sort of demon.
When was this? In 1985?
In the 80s. Yeah. They came out and talked about how this kid listened to AC/DC and attempted to commit suicide.
I know about Bob Larson.
Right. And people who, guys who listen to Metallica would take up arms and shoot their parents and all this kind of crap. And that's like, that's totally not true. It's a misnomer. The music does not cause behavior. The music might enhance behavior that already exists.
The music in and of it.
Okay, all three of you are talking at the same time. Let's have one person at a time, please.
Okay. I'll stop. I'll shut
Well, we're coming up on and out here, Larry, so I'm going to thank you for the call. Thanks for bringing up your points and a lively discussion. You can tell us what you think.
I want to keep this going because he said that's not rap music, so therefore Your analysis of music does not qualify.
What do you think? Does music cause bad behavior? 855 450 free like freedom. Free Talk Live.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you receive the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at AnyPayInc.com. AnyPayInc.com.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
Readers rejoice! This week, Amazon unveiled the Kindle Flare, the latest model of their popular e-reader. The improved device has the ability to loudly and repeatedly announce the title of the book you're reading so everyone knows how smart you are.
Breakfast of Champions by Kurt Vonnegut.
The hot new e-reader includes a massive catalog of titles, a sleek, easy-to-use interface, and a loud, clear voice that barks the name and author of your book on a loop. Amazon says the repetitive shouting is a small feature that makes a big difference. Readers say that with crystal clear 150 decibel stereo speakers, the Flare provides the most conspicuous reading experience yet. When you're not reading, the Flare automatically switches into bookshelf mode, which conserves power and reads off a list of everything on your Kindle.
Blink by Malcolm Gladwell, a confederacy of dunces.
And Amazon's competition has also stepped up their game as Apple released a new iPad that whispers, "I have an iPad," over and over again.
This is the Onion News Network.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Yes, it's Free Talk Live, the Monday night Kickass training edition. That's right. I'm here in the studio, and I'm Captain Kickass, and with me tonight,
I'm Ian.
I'm the nobody formerly known as Rich Paul.
Very well. We were talking a bit about, culture, really.
Well, Larry had called in, and he said that he's upset at black culture being misrepresented in mainstream kind of pop music culture. And I don't doubt that there are a lot of, probably the super majority of black people that are not, they don't behave in the way that is represented by this sort of gangster rap viewpoint that you see in the pop media. And I get that's frustrating, but I just don't believe this claim that there's a one singular black culture in the same way that there's not a white culture. You know, there's so many different subcultures within, and there's cross, cultures. And
well, there's certainly a variety of cultures. Okay, I won't, and I was just saying something similar half an hour ago, so I won't bust your balls on that. But I really do believe that there are, it's not just a misrepresentation of black culture. It's almost like the music and hip hop industry is almost trying to push it to be as bad as it can be, and it does. It does make a difference when if you see a character on TV do something and nobody gets upset about it, you might well, or everybody thinks it's normal, you might well be more likely to do that thing, not necessarily consciously. But I really do think there's a TED Talk out there called "Black Murder is Normal," and I first watched it because I was like, I can't believe they had a racist TED Talk, but it was not a racist talk. It was actually it was actually really informative, and it made me think of some things differently than I had before.
Well, I mean, what you're saying there about the way pop music, the industry represents different groups, I don't disagree with that. You can even look at sites like The Vigilant Citizen, who is sort of this conspiracy guy who gets into Illuminati symbolism that is, these videos are replete with in a lot of cases. And his perspective on this is that these record industry labels are trying to curry favor with the power elite out there, and they are the power elite basically at the highest levels, whether you believe in the Illuminati or the Bilderbergs or whoever it is that you think it is. He uses the term Illuminati, and he will point out that a lot of the not just black people, but the white pop music stars, for instance, are usually also scraping the bottom of the barrel. They are, being, as in the case of the females, as slutty as they can possibly be. There's references to, Satan and things like that within the various different visuals of these videos. So, I mean, by no means is this problem that you're talking about limited to just black pop music.
No, it's not, and I would say in general that TV has been dumbing us down for quite a while, and I don't know. It's
I took issue with Larry's bit about the music is making people do things.
It's not music making people do things so much as. Because obviously music doesn't make anybody do things.
Sometimes it makes you want to get up and shake your booty.
What it can do is change your perception of what's acceptable and what's normal. And what reasonable people do, and what people you respect do. If you see someone who's like a hero to you because he's a great musician, and then he's getting busted for burglary or whatever,
or a woman twerking or something like that.
Well, I mean, twerking to me isn't even a bad thing. It's like I could, but
there's a lot of people who would say
without judging whether it's good or bad.
Yeah.
Certainly, people do that. Certainly, people are influenced by that thing to say, well, she did it and nobody got all upset about it, and she's making $1 million. So why not do it?
I did want to address something that Larry kind of alluded to, and I don't know if that was part of his greater point, bringing up Kobe Bryant, and that's something that I kind of take issue with the general public, particularly on social media, is this, like, when somebody famous dies, all of a sudden everybody, like people who've you've never heard utter the words Kobe Bryant in your entire life, right? The guy dies, all of a sudden they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sad. That like it's had this actual effect. It's created feelings. A person that they've never met, they've never interacted with, right? They've never had a conversation with, and has never really done anything for them personally. And how does that translate into somebody becoming sad about it? And why is it there's such an overreaction to these famous people dying?
Well, I mean, people do feel like they know people when they watch them on TV for a long time.
That happens with us too. I mean, we're on the radio talking for 3 hours a night. The listener out there, in a lot of cases, if they meet you, for instance, they may say something like, I feel like I know you, even though you've never met in the entire lifespan of this individual. They've heard you speaking for hours upon hours. You have probably never heard a word from their mouth, however.
Right, and that's the thing, is they know you and you don't know them.
Right.
That's the creepy thing about that, but it makes sense.
It's not
you
creepy.
Listen to somebody talk for 3 hours a day, you do know them. And if you've never called in, you don't know them personally, but you know something about them. You know what kind of person they are. You know whether or not they make you laugh.
I don't think that's creepy, though. That's just the way it is.
Yeah. Well, occasionally,
creepy implies some sort of intent.
No intent. But it's
well, then it's not creepy.
Maybe creepy isn't the word awkward.
Okay.
Maybe is the
that's
word.
a better word.
I'll give you that one.
Because I've met people who hated my guts because I said something on the radio. I've met people who think I can do no wrong because of my activism career. And of course, I solve that projection pretty quickly once they actually meet me.
Yeah, me too.
Sometimes immediately. But
depending on how many cocktails I've had. Hey, we've got a caller. It looks like Robert from Bellas Falls, Vermont. Robert, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Hey, how you doing, Captain?
Hey, Robert. I'm good, Robert. Thanks.
Good. Hey, I want to clear something up a little bit. Now, I'm 56 years old, so I grew up in the era in the 60s.
Yep.
And I've been listening to rock and roll my entire life. I'm a rock and roll nut.
Nice.
But none of these songs that I've listened to have ever made me do anything that was inappropriate, harm anybody or anything. But what it has done for me is teach me about what's going on today in the United States. Case in point, number one, Mark Farner of Grand Funk Railroad, did a song.
Don't let them take away your guns.
He talks about he wrote a song over 50 years ago called Monster, okay? And in that song, what he's singing about is what's going on today.
How so?
Well, I mean, you got to listen to the song.
Well, we're probably not going to
can't hear it, so fill us in.
Yeah, we need to hear the lyrics or see the lyrics or something like that.
He talks about how corrupt the government is and the direction that it's taking us and the harms that it's done, the injustice.
Well, I'll have to check that out. Another great song by.
All right, Robert, hold on. We'll keep you over. What do you think about music? Give us a call. Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Have you ever watched a video on the internet and found yourself waiting for the skip the ad button? The reason this takes a few seconds is because the video delivery companies get to collect impression commission, and the viewer never sees the advertisement. The company still pays full price to run the ad. Does this sound like a scam to you? Is there any wonder why internet ads are so ineffective? For over 100 years, radio has been a proven source for companies' messages. Radio listeners are engaged and want to support the companies that sponsor the shows they're so passionate about. Simple companies like window treatments, security, pillow companies, and more have been able to break away from the big box stores, building multi-million-dollar businesses. Find out what radio can do for your business. Call 877-996-4327 or advertise at gcnlive.com. That's advertise at gcnlive.com.
Are you afraid to go to the mailbox because of letter after letter from the IRS? Are they stacking on more and more penalties and interest? By now, you know the problem won't go away on its own. Don't let the IRS chase you to your grave with penalties and interest and liens and levies. You need real help now. I'm Dan Pilla. I wrote the book on tax debt settlement, and I help thousands of people solve tax problems they thought couldn't be solved. I can help you too. Call 800-34-NO-TAX or go to my website, danpilla.com. That's danpilla.com. danpilla.com.
Excuse me, is this where I get a license to start a new business?
I wouldn't be hasty. You have to get a license to go out of business, too, you know.
Oh, well, look, I've invented this little anti-gravity machine, see?
Oh, is that why you're walking 2 inches above the floor?
Oh, yes, it's very comfortable. It saves on shoe leather.
Yeah, well, you have to fill out these forms and report to the Human Services Department of Manpower Orientation and register with the Fair Employment Practice Commission, the Wage and Hour Division of the Employment Standards Administration, the State Sales and Income Tax Division, the Internal Revenue Service, and the Social Security Administration of the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare, and, of course, OSHA.
OSHA? I thought that was a little town in Wisconsin.
You'll find out. Say, floating around like that could be dangerous. Have you checked with the Consumer Product Safety Commission?
Well, not yet.
Come to think of it, you actually are flying, aren't you? Look, you need to go over to the Federal Aviation Administration and the Transportation...
It's very hard to get anything done these days if you're in business, but free enterprise built this country. Think what could happen if we don't keep it free. A public service of this station and the Center for the Defense of Free Enterprise, Bellevue, Washington.
We just can't have people floating about unregulated, you know.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com. Live video of our key New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, the Monday Kickass version. That's right, the captain's running the show. Somehow, the boat is still afloat. We'll see if we can keep that up. With you tonight, it's myself, the captain.
It's Ian.
And nobody formerly known as Rich Ball.
We've been taking your calls at 855-450-FREE. And we also have the Discord line at discord.lrn.fm. We'll be getting that in just a moment. But first, I wanted to tell you about Freedom's Phoenix. Freedom's Phoenix is a liberty-oriented news aggregation site. Do you want the newest and freshest stories and perspective on current events from those who value liberty? FreedomsPhoenix.com has it. Their daily dispatch is the best way to stay up to date on science, technology, historical findings, liberty news, government overspending, and the rise of the police state. That's Phoenix.com. FreedomsPhoenix.com. And also, I wanted to say that the host of that show is pretty entertaining.
Ernie Hancock. He's coming up to New Hampshire this weekend.
Nice. Do I finally get to meet him?
I don't know if he's coming to Keene.
Okay. Well, Will he be at
He's
Fork
gonna
and
be
Fork?
in
Pork and Fork?
Manchester. I suspect he'll likely be at Fork Fest.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was at Pork Fest and Fork Fest last
This year, yeah, or in 2019, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow,
Larry,
it's
you're back on.
2020,
It is
isn't
2020. Yeah.
We're back on with Larry and I'm sorry, with Robert out of Vermont, and we were talking about music. And you had some more thoughts to share with us, Robert?
Yeah, I think I got kind of mixed up a little bit. It would be John Kay from Steppenwolf is the one that did the song Monster. And like I said, in the song, he writes about the things that are going on in the United States today, in the world.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, he was a visionary. Same thing with Mark Farmer from Grand Funk Railroad. He sang about the things, that went on in Vietnam and the corruption and everything.
Yeah, every year at the 420 rally, I play. Not for the years that I've had music. I always, one of the things I always try to play is "Don't Let 'Em Take Your Gun" by Grand Funk Railroad.
Nice. Yeah, Robert, I can identify with you in a few ways, and that is before I sort of came out of the fog of statism, I just listened to rock and roll and heavy metal, and it was just about partying, rebelling in general, right? Because I was a rebellious youth, that kind of a thing. Drinking, sex, doing drugs, partying, playing music, having a good time, living life, right? And then, when I came out of the fog of statism, I started hearing things in music, and in fact, just 2 days ago, I was listening to some online music, and a song by the heavy metal band Exodus came on, and it's called "The Scar-Spangled Banner," right? And it's like you're talking about, Robert. It's talking about what's going on in the government, right? What's happening in the the United States of America, how they're interacting with other countries, foreign policy, what's going on, between citizens, and how awful it is. And it really hit home to me. I'm like, there have been people writing and talking about this stuff since before I was born.
Sure.
So I completely identify.
So, another example, if I may, of a person that, made an indelible impression on me was Lemmy from Motorhead.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people don't know this, but Lemmy was a World War I and World War II historian.
Yeah, he studied all that.
Yep.
Good call tonight, Robert.
Okay, Robert.
Pardon me?
Thanks for the call, Robert. It's been interesting.
Appreciate the discussion there.
The call. So
now what you did there is you pressed the air button a second time. Yeah,
there we go. Hey, thanks, man.
So I wanted to say to that, though, it's important to have music with a good message, and these songs have been around for generations in some cases. However, I mean, has it really done a whole lot to really bring people to the ideas of anti-statism or anything like that? I mean,
I like to think that the music that I listened to that had the themes of freedom
was important.
Important to get me to eventually come. We talk about planting seeds all the time when you have conversations with people who are obviously stuck in the statist paradigm, and like how it's important to just plant the seed, because it might not be you, it might not be me, it might not be him, but somebody else somewhere along the line will open their mind to the ideas of freedom, and then they'll sort of rewind, right? And I've had this experience a couple of times when I first learned what reverb was, and then when I came out of the fog of statism, I was able to go back and listen to my music with sort of a fresh perspective.
Right.
And I like to think, I can't say that this is true, but I like to think that the music with themes of freedom had a direct impact on me eventually coming out of the fog of statism.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing, it's a little bit disingenuous to criticize something for not having made things better than they are now, because nothing that exists has made things better than they are now. Things are not and cannot be better than they are now. So
yeah, that's true. I think
it's an identity.
I'm not trying to be critical of it, because I'm in favor of it. I think that you're probably going to be able to reach more people with music than you can, say, a talk show, for instance, because music is sort of like a universal language. You can feel, music in a way that you can't just by listening to someone talk. But does it really lead to action? Does it really lead to people changing their minds? Maybe so.
I think it does. Yeah. I think that I was molded by listening to the Grateful Dead, by listening to the
that explains
to
your hippie
Pink
persona.
Floyd, by listening.
Oh, Pink Floyd,
I mean,
for sure.
Pink Floyd changed my life, definitely. They changed the way I looked at things. You know, they and again, The Wall was a great warning. And I will say that, you know, the one thing that things could be a lot worse, and they're not. And, you know, things might be a lot worse if we hadn't had some of the things we had, like, you know, the Libertarian Party and rock and roll.
You may be right about that. And certainly in some places in the world, you wouldn't have those things because you don't have the freedom of speech.
Should we go to our caller on the Discord?
You're in charge, my man.
Okay, let me rephrase that. How to did I just click on him?
You've already clicked in the room, so
yeah.
he's able to hear what we've been talking about. You just have to unmute him on the board, and
Which
he'll
one?
be there. The Discord's right next to the microphones there.
Mr. Edge, do we have you?
Well, that's what we get for not screening his call. He's not ready. He's not there. Something's wrong.
Mark, are you here?
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to worry about screening Mark's call. He's not going to call in and cuss.
Yeah, most of the time. But
he just might call in with broken stuff.
Yeah,
we are.
Yeah, it's not the first time that's happened.
Okay, well, we'll
So
mute
we'll just
him
have to try him
and
again later.
We'll come back to him.
Yep.
I did, you know, music has been such an important piece of my life that I can't imagine not sort of becoming unbrainwashed without it, you know, because that's an emotional experience, right? It's like I equate coming out of the fog of statism to being told that Santa Claus isn't real, except you're an adult when it happens, right? Or at least I was. I was 36 or so years old, right? Thereabouts. And like, it felt like somebody had just ripped my reality out from under me. It was a very emotional experience for me. And like, you know, just imagine you believe something. You believe that it's real. You believe that it exists. And then all of a sudden you figure out that it's not. And what that does to a person, you sort of have to process all of that. And it's not an overnight process. You know, you might, you know, have some epiphanies and come to some realizations. And it's a very deep, you know, sort of introspection, at least it was for me. And then as you explore that, you discover more and more that, oh my gosh, I've been wrong about all these things the whole time, right? And then you kind of, you know, you get into that bit where you're like, oh, but I've always felt this way, but when you really haven't. Maybe you felt that way deep underneath everything. Maybe you felt like something was wrong, kind of like, you know, what that movie, The Matrix, like kind of, you know, alludes to, right? That you could always sense that something was slightly wrong, but you could never quite put your finger on it. It's not until you wake up to the ideas of freedom.
Well, art's kind of interesting where when you show the same piece of art to two different people who are in different places in their belief systems, you know, for instance, if you take The Matrix and you show it to a communist, and then you take The Matrix and you show it to a libertarian, and then ask them how they felt about what they just saw, they may both really enjoy the movie, but for different reasons. They may find themes that that resonate with them,
right,
even though the artists who are creating that might not have had even any intention to resonate with those people in that way.
And you always see things through the screen of what you believe. Like, I remember watching V for Vendetta.
Love that movie.
And when she said, "Oh, you have? How did you get real butter?" And I said, "Oh, okay, it's a socialist country." But that was because I have a knowledge of economics. If I didn't, if I was a socialist, you know, they don't think they're going to starve us all.
Sure.
Yeah. What do you think? Is butter socialist? 855
No, margarine
450 free. Like freedom. Call in. Tell us what's on your mind. We'll have a conversation and see how things
Talk
go.
Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at marketfreetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. Marketfreetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, Mark at freetalklive.com.
Ever wanted to hook up with an attractive woman, but you couldn't because you were already in a relationship? Ever wanted to earn high income on low work hours? I'm Caleb Jones, and I've taught hundreds of thousands of men how to create low work, high income businesses and how to date women under your terms. Watch our free on-demand replay training with me so you can learn how to create location-independent income and date women the way you want. Go to alpha.freetalklive.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,583, silver at $18.10, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,925. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, Harvard public health scientist Dr. Eric Feigl-Ding is describing the current coronavirus outbreak as bad, at a, quote, thermonuclear pandemic level bad, end quote. The virus has killed 82 people, infected almost 3,000 more, and spread to multiple other countries. And Dr. Feigl-Ding has been tweeting about it nonstop since last week. It's the third time since 2003 that a coronavirus has made the jump from animals to humans. Feigl-Ding, who holds a dual doctorate in epidemiology and nutrition, began by expressing that he is deeply worried about the outbreak and indicated it may be silently contagious, a fact that has now been confirmed by China's National Health Commission minister. On Friday, Dr. Feigl-Ding prefaced his calculations that the reproductive value of the virus is 3.8 by saying, quote, Holy Mother of God, end quote. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. A Peruvian indigenous group has won a lengthy court battle to save their land from oil exploration. The land is located in the Amazon along the border between Peru and Brazil. There have been plans to turn the land into an oil field until the scheme was blocked in court by a network of local indigenous tribes. The Mind Unleashed reports the tribes were represented by the Institute of Legal Defense, who spent over 2 years pursuing a lawsuit, demanding that the government stop authorizing the development of oil lots in the Loreto region of Peru's northern Amazon. According to the IDL, the judge in the case ordered the establishment of a strict protection zone around the indigenous land. The contested land will remain in the control of the Regional Organization of Indigenous Peoples of the East. If not for the lawsuit and subsequent ruling, it would have been very likely that the Amazonian land would have been destroyed by oil companies. The Associated Press reports a staggering surge of U.S. troops into the Middle East since last spring. Over the past 8 months, the United States has poured more than 20,000 additional troops into the Middle East to counter the escalating threat from Iran that peaked with the recent missile attack on American forces in Iraq, according to the AP report. That comes despite President Trump's multiple prior pledges to bring the troops home, especially related to Syria and Iraq. The anti-media reports that following the Soleimani assassination and subsequent Iranian ballistic missile retaliation on Ain al-Assad Air Base, where Friday it was reported that 34 soldiers suffered traumatic brain injuries, the trend in force buildup looks to continue. The top commander for U.S. forces in the Middle East told a gathering of Marines and sailors during a speech aboard the USS Baton on Thursday that they could be there for quite a while. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
This week, the Forest Service rolled out a brand new Smokey the Bear campaign in which the popular mascot burns to death. They say they hope the shocking turn will get people serious about preventing forest fires for once. The new campaign depicts Smokey the Bear noticing a family leave a flame unattended. Before he can put it out, the entire forest is consumed and Smokey dies in agony while trying to fight the blaze. Despite educating the public for over 70 years, the Forest Service says wildfires have only gotten worse and it was time to take their warnings to the next level. The new ads aim to show that if Smokey the Bear can be killed by the very type of fire he works so tirelessly to prevent, it could happen to anyone at any time. So what's next for the long-running campaign? Well, now that their primary spokesperson is out of the picture, the Ad Council says the PSAs will shift focus to a new character named Little Brian. He's the boy whose family caused the fire in the first place, and he's grappling with crippling guilt over Smokey's death.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
If pro is the opposite of con, then Congress must be the opposite of progress.
It's true.
It's Free Talk Live, the Captain Kickass edition on this Monday night. With me here tonight,
I'm Ian.
I'm not a convict, I'm a provict.
You're a professional, huh?
Something like that.
I know people who kind of get arrested professionally.
Well, I did for a while. The money sucked. And
doesn't pay well, does it? Yeah.
Well, it's also it cut a lot of business expenses, a lot of money's, and they usually don't get my money unless they manage to get my car.
Well, speaking of,
I'll sit in jail, but I won't let my car sit in impound.
Speaking of people who do questionable things for money, we have Mr. Mark Edge on the Discord line. Mark, are you with us?
Calling in from the Mariana Islands,
there he
where
is.
America's Day starts.
What's up?
What's on your mind, Mark?
About culture. So you guys were talking about culture in the last hour, and this is something that's been bopping around in my head for a long time because I don't have a good definition for what culture is.
Okay.
So culture has historically been defined as a people that have a language and a religion in common.
That's your definition?
Now, the definition.
Oh, okay. So that's like the dictionary edition. Okay.
Huh, okay.
I don't believe that exists.
That currently a people that have a language and religion in common exist?
The thing is, people are so diverse in what they believe. I've got a different culture than Captain Kickass does.
Yeah.
You know, we move in completely different circles. You know, I appreciate them. I'm not saying I don't, but the thing is, there's one culture is what there is, and it's just a hodgepodge of things.
The definition, according to dictionary.com, of culture doesn't even use the word religion. It as a noun. It is the quality in a person or society that arises from a concern for what is regarded as excellent in arts, letters, manners, scholarly pursuits,
that's a
etc.
different definition of culture. That's like when you say someone is cultured, you know, like they've been exposed to the finer things in life.
How is that not culture?
Huh?
How is that not culture?
Oh, well, I mean, it's a part of culture, but...
Okay, so how about this one? The total of the inherited ideas, beliefs, values, and knowledge which constitute the shared basis of social action.
That's what I'm talking about.
Say that again?
The total of the inherited ideas, beliefs, values, and knowledge which constitute the shared basis of social action.
Okay.
That's definition 1. There's also 2, the total range of activities and ideas of a group of people with shared traditions, which could include religion, but it doesn't specifically say that, which are transmitted and reinforced by members of the group, i.e. the Mayan culture.
Okay, so Mark, now that we have good definitions of culture, would you like to finish making your point?
Well, he'll reject those definitions.
So yes, that is true. I reject those definitions. First off, what I said was the historical definition of culture is a shared language and religion. So you can apply that new definition to culture to an older definition. I think you'll find that it fits fine. I think we need a better definition than the dictionary, what the dictionary provides there. And I believe I've come up with it. And it's the things that we believe in a given geographic area without question.
Ooh.
And as somebody who doesn't agree with anybody on anything, that would render me completely without culture.
Well, you do believe some things without question, right?
I'm a pope of an agnostic church. I mean, I question everything. I'm not even sure you're real. I can prove I exist because cognito ergo sum. If I think, I must exist to thinking. But the only way that I can truly prove my own existence is the fact that I'm experiencing it. I can't prove anything outside that. I can't prove it's real. So we could all be in the Matrix. I wouldn't know.
So while you're talking and Mark isn't, does that make him Schrodinger's talk show host? Mark got that one. Thanks.
Rich, where is your... I'll giggle at Schrodinger's every time. Where is the best pizza in Keene?
Well, I like Little Zoe's myself.
Okay, so there's a culture of people in Keene that without question believe that Little Zoe's is the best pizza in Keene. Now, some people can disagree and some people can agree, but, you know, America, for instance, largely agrees that pizza is a good food and that hamburgers are good food. However, if you go to southeastern China, you will probably not get an agreement on that, because they're going to eat different foods. So food plays a strong role in culture. And all you have to do is a little bit of traveling to realize, this ain't America no more.
Right. It's like that. It's like that joke about, when you go to Chinese food and you really want some Chinese food, you just go out for food.
You don't, actually, because American Chinese food is
not real
like
Chinese food.
People eat.
Right.
But yeah, so all I'm saying is that that I think a culture does exist. I will not argue the point that cultures exist. I will argue that they're very difficult to define.
I agree there. Yeah.
So, in the United States, for instance, what defines U.S. culture? I mean, somebody in New Hampshire versus somebody in, New Mexico. You're dealing with different folks eating different foods. And all these sorts of things, but people will argue very strongly that there is
they certainly have a lot that a lot of people have similarities, but they also have differences, and that's why I question the idea of the monolithic culture. Everybody I know is multicultural in the things they enjoy and the things they appreciate. Maybe they like anime, maybe they love Chinese food, even if it's not as authentic as it could be. Although my dad taught me the thing to do is you look for the Chinese restaurants that have Chinese people eating there. And he's been to China, and but the
I guess the point that I'm trying to make here, Rich, is that, probably food, probably language.
Music.
These are things that you can, some music to some extent. But remember, in the United States, we have lots and different genres. And that's one of the reasons. I think music, yes. But I think what music does is, as the caller Larry pointed out, is that Larry's black and he feels completely alienated by what he called, black music or rap music or whatever the terminology is. And I think that's
specifically gangster rap. I mean, there's a big difference between that and Motown, bro.
Well, Motown isn't being produced anymore, though. Right. I mean, somebody's performing it, but they're not producing it.
And you see, that's the thing that's strange, because people are still listening to it. So, there is. And I've just got a sense that the entertainment that's put on specifically for black people can't be that bad by accident. Because somebody's saying, yeah, that would be a great act to produce, when there's a lot of other kinds of things they could be doing, and these are all white guys making this decision.
Well, the same goes for television shows, right? The people
same goes for television.
And we touched on the cop shows earlier at the top of the show.
Again,
same thing.
This comes back around.
And
are you saying that you think
they're always trying to manipulate?
Well, right, but I mean, it's not just about black music. It's also about the other music out there, which is also arguably the lowest common denominator.
That doesn't change the guy's point. He was talking about one aspect of media manipulation.
Mark, you want to stay with us?
There are many.
Okay.
I don't know if you heard you.
Mark, we're gonna keep you over. What do you think? How does music affect culture? Give us a call, 855-450-FREE like freedom. This is Free Talk Live.
I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
She's such a beautiful little puppy. I mean, we walk around the block and neighbors always say, her hair is so beautiful. Healthy and shiny and glossy. DINOVITE.com.
Fatty acids, omega-3s, and omega-6s are great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
I would really recommend people starting their puppies on Dinovite before they get into what I would call the misery index. Bad skin, bad ears, bad breath.
Because if they're getting all their vitamins, micronutrients, microbials from the beginning, then you're not going to run into the problems associated with the allergies, grass, pollen, dust, dirt, fleas, ticks, you name it, and the itching and shedding down the road.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
Dinovite for life.
This is Ed Lukasevic.
And Cindy Lukasevic.
Inviting you and your pets to Dinovite.
859-428-1000. DINOVITE.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You can call in and talk about whatever's on your mind. You can also get us on our Discord line at discord.lrn.fm, where there's also many chat rooms, and you can have lots of lively interactions with other avid listeners of our program. And before we go on, I wanted to tell you that you can join liberty-minded voluntarists, anarchists, and libertarians from June 29th until July 5th for Forkfest 2020 at Rogers Campground in the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire. It'll be my first time.
The Fork You Find Freedom Festival.
It'll be my first time, and I'm pretty stoked. Forkfest happens the week after the Porcupine Freedom Festival, and Forkfest is decentralized, which means no one is in charge. Not nobody is in charge, but no one is in charge. That also means there's no ticket cost. Just reserve your camping, RV site, or motel room with Rogers Campground for June 29th until July 5th. Where better to celebrate Independence Day than around other freedom-loving activists in the Shire? You can simply relax and go camping with other liberty lovers, or you can create whatever experience or event you'd like others to have. If you're planning an event for Forkfest, be sure to let others know in advance. You can connect with other Forkfesters via the unofficial Telegram chat or the Forkfest forum. Links to those are on the unofficial website, forkfest.party. That's forkfest.party. Now, we have Mark Edge on the line with us, and we were talking about culture, the definitions of culture and what culture is. But, Mark, I had a feeling that you were trying to make a larger point post the definition of culture.
Yes, I am trying to make a larger point. Thank you very much for holding me over. And I understand that it is a gift granted by the host to be held over, and not something that I am somehow guaranteed simply because I can speak and use a telephone.
Although it helps.
Just to anybody out there. So the point I'm trying to make about culture is that first we need to get our definitions in place. Not to say that there's great definitions, but we had to at least discuss definitions. What I believe is culture now has, at some point in the last few decades, transmitted from what it was historically to what it is today. And what it is today, I believe, is created by media. That the tail now wags the dog as opposed to the other side.
That's
so I'm going to use, for example, JFK. What happened in the JFK situation, sort of from a cultural understanding point, is whatever the Warren Commission said, because the media said that was so, and that was so. And it doesn't matter how much sort of other media comes out, other sort of sideline media, the B teams or whatever kind of media that comes out that says otherwise. It's inculcated that the Warren Commission's the truth, and any other theory is sort of has to be proven. And even with proof, I mean, I think at this point we can almost say that whatever the Warren Commission is wrong, and something else happened, and there was probably a conspiracy involved or something.
Well, I mean, if the Warren Commission was telling us the whole truth, there wouldn't be a whole passel of documents that are still so sensitive that Trump didn't feel he could release them either. You know, and the idea that, oh God, yeah, you're absolutely right there. And also, I mean, like the whole conspiracy theorist term, that nomenclature, the words conspiracy theorist, were put together
as a result
by a group of people at the CIA and the FBI, deep state people, in order to discredit people who believed in that the government was lying to them about Kennedy.
And the Jeffrey Epstein thing's another
Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself.
That much, I believe everybody believes that. And this is a very obvious chink in their armor, right? So the media...
That's why I push it.
Want you to believe that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself in his cell. And, nobody believes it. But it's the exception that proves the rule, is that if they put this stuff out and then just stop talking about it, they're pretty firm in their belief that they win these battles. And that's my point, that the media, whoever the media is, and I'm not even sure who the media is, frankly.
Yeah. And of course, the problem with Epstein is it's not clear. I mean, even if you're upset about it, and I'm not upset about I mean, I could care less that Epstein's dead. I could not care less that Epstein's dead. But I care that people are finally aware that the media is lying to them about something important.
In relation to, getting cultured, right? That is, experiencing things that aren't necessarily like native to your geographic area, your Dunbar number, if you will, right? Certainly media, the internet in specifics, exposes more people to more of that kind of a thing, right? I can listen to more and different kinds of music thanks to the speed and transmission of the internet than I ever could have before the internet. So my opportunities to become more cultured, in that definition, certainly are far greater, far faster, and I can go through it in a day. I don't have to travel the world to sort of discover all these different types of music. I can get them at my fingertips now. So in that respect, Mark, you're absolutely right.
I would also say that this is difficult. So I think Larry's right that what we are fed through the media as to what is black culture. Okay, so Larry, the caller who called in and who's
or white culture or anybody else's culture.
About white culture. He wasn't complaining about Chinese culture. He wasn't complaining about anything like that. Larry was complaining about the disposition of black culture in America, and I just want to address that. I think that black culture in America has gotten short shrift by the media because, for whatever reason, the most entertaining stuff that on the music side that comes out is this. The idea that they aspire, that the blacks aspire to Rolls Royces and furs and tattooed pit bulls and gold chains or whatever it is that one believes in.
You can't tattoo a dog. That's wrong.
We used to tattoo. My mom's show dogs were all tattooed with contact information.
Okay, that I would do. I chipped my dog.
That's probably before the chipping would be my guess, was the tattoos.
And Larry is a guy who has a job and is in his 60s,
right.
Has every reason to complain about the way that, into his mind, his lifestyle is being portrayed. But the only solution is to portray your lifestyle, in some different way so that people can some way consume that.
Agreed.
So you're saying Larry should start a band?
Larry should start a podcast.
With a band for his theme music. Wait, that sounds familiar. Wow.
Well, if you want to inspire people, music is a great tool.
That's true.
Mark, thank you
Agreed.
so much for the call, man. Good points all the way around. Call in, talk whatever you want to talk about here on Free Talk Live. It's 855-450-FREE, like freedom.
And if you want to brainwash them, too.
Exactly.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting LibertyCon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's LibertyCon.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. Physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project early movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone, you forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection? You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live Listen line, 641-793-0191.
If you're looking for work, there's a piece of paper more important than your resume. It's the cover letter attached if you're snail mailing, or the email to which you attach your resume. Make it 4 short paragraphs. Paragraph 1, say that you're applying for work. The person you're sending to gets a ton of mail about all sorts of things. If you have a password, that's your first sentence. Tom Nelson tells me you and I should meet. Paragraph 2, what you do and how that relates to the opening. Be as specific as possible. Paragraph 3, why you want this particular job. I'm originally from Boston, so I know the market well. I have family and friends in the area, so this would be a homecoming for me. Paragraph 4, unless the job posting stipulates no calls, and I will call you to follow up. Thank you in advance for your time. From survivalspeech.com, I'm Holland Cook.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you can control. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have been talking about a whole bunch of stuff tonight. We talked about cop shows and how the presentation of police on television sort of brainwashes folks into how to interact with them. We've talked about music and its relation to freedom and the messages of freedom that are contained within music. We've talked about culture. We've talked about so many things. What do you think? Give us a call. 855-450-FREE, like freedom. I've got some additional articles that I brought in. One, I had to laugh when I read this headline. And the headline is, this is from, what's it from? From the New York Post. Bank calls cops on black man trying to cash check from discrimination lawsuit.
I saw that on Facebook and I thought, you lucky bastard, you're going to get another payout.
So a Detroit man is suing a Michigan bank for refusing to cash a settlement check awarded to him in a racial discrimination lawsuit, according to a report. Santori Thomas, age 44, claims TCF Bank employees refused to cash or deposit his settlement check on Tuesday at a branch in Livonia, leading cops to respond and a fraud investigation to be launched, the Detroit Free Press reports. I didn't deserve treatment like that when I knew the check was not fraudulent, Thomas told the newspaper. I'm a United States veteran. I have an honorable discharge from the Air Force. They discriminated against me because I'm black. None of this would have happened if I were white. Thomas, who had an account at the bank for nearly 2 years, sued TCF Bank on Wednesday, alleging racial discrimination by the bank for calling police, prompting 4 cops to respond to the branch, the newspaper reports.
So this wasn't a guy who was just coming into any old bank trying to cash a check. He's one of their own clients.
And had been for at least a couple of years.
Wow.
Right?
Well, how many bank accounts have we had shut down? Never would have happened if we were white, right?
Yeah.
I've been through like 8 bank accounts every time I sell some Bitcoin. Another one bites the dust.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the credit unions currently because I don't really like the commercial brands names of banks.
Credit unions don't like Bitcoin either.
Yeah,
I know they don't.
We really need to start our own Bitcoin credit union.
Easier said than done, I'm afraid.
But for personal
I didn't
banking,
say it would be easy.
Right.
I said it would be useful.
Yeah, for personal banking, I prefer the credit unions.
I agree with you. Credit unions are a better experience overall than banks.
They're still a bank in the sense that they're taking your money and charging you for things and services that
credit unions don't charge as much, and they don't have fees that are as bad, or sometimes their fees are close to non-existent. Because they put what they would be their profits back into their organization, unlike profit-driven banks. So, I mean, the organization is a pretty good model, but they still are afraid of cryptocurrency.
And the credit union I belong to gives you.
It's not that they're profit-driven, because generally people are driven
Credit unions
when they
not.
seek profit to provide good service at good prices, because that's how you make real money. But
they're all regulated by the government.
Right.
They are a government-established monopoly.
Oligopoly.
Exactly. And that's why they hate Bitcoin. It's not that it's going to replace currency. It's that it's going to replace banks.
But anyway, I'm laughing at the irony of this, right? Here's a black man who gets a settlement check for a racial discrimination lawsuit, and he can't cash the check for the same reason that he got the check in the first place. That's just
that's his assumption. There was a guy, and I have nothing against everybody, anybody. I mean, if
what about nobody?
I have nothing against nobody. But I mean, I was working at a store one time, and I busted a shoplifter who happened to be black, and who was walking out of the store with a bunch of meat in his pants.
Is that a bunch of meat in your pants?
Is that a euphemism?
Yeah, phrasing. But so I stopped him, and he was like, "Man, you wouldn't have said anything if I wasn't black." I was like, "What? You think I let white people steal from the store that I work at? No."
So,
I don't care. I don't care who you are.
So going on, this guy Thomas declined to indicate the amount of the settlement check, saying that it's a part of a confidential agreement in a federal lawsuit against his former employer, Enterprise Leasing Company of Detroit. The vet even called his employment law attorney while at the bank for help, explaining to bank employees that his check was authentic. "I got on the phone with the bank," attorney
It's
Deborah
kind of
Gordon told me.
implausible to me, though, that there are people living in Detroit who don't like black people.
"I got on the phone with the bank," attorney Deborah Gordon told the newspaper. "I sent them my federal court complaint to see that it matched. I did everything." Thomas was denied due to his race, Gordon said. "Obviously, assumptions were made the minute he walked in based on his race," the attorney continued. "It's unbelievable that this guy got done with a race discrimination case and he's not allowed to deposit the check based on his case. It's absolutely outrageous." And that's the part that it made the headline. It made me, just go, wow, what kind of world are we living in? "We apologize for the experience Mr. Thomas had at our banking center," TCF Bank spokesman Tom Wennerberg told the Post in a statement. "Local police should not have been involved. We strongly condemn racism and discrimination of any kind. We take extra precautions involving large deposits and requests for cash, and in this case, we were unable to validate the checks presented by Mr. Thomas and regret we could not meet his needs."
I'm starting to get tempted to sue all the banks that shut my accounts down for religious discrimination. They run the system, so any part of it that you can use against them is hoisting them with their own petard.
Did it say that the check was drawn on TCF Bank, or was it issued from a different bank? I don't recall if that was covered in this story.
I'm also curious. He must have been trying to cash it.
That's what it's sounding
Well,
like. Yeah.
cash or deposit were both mentioned in the article. It doesn't say what bank the settlement check was written on.
Yeah. Okay. So, according to what the bank guy said, and I'm going to presume he's telling the truth here. The guy that apologized, he said we were unable to validate the checks presented by this, and he requested. Well, it doesn't say he requested cash. He just said they were unable to validate the checks.
Right.
So that would suggest that he was not presenting a check that is from TCF Bank. Most banks, if you walk in, whether you're a white guy or a black guy or Asian or whatever, if you hand them a check and say you want to cash it, they're going to tell you, "I'm sorry, we can't do this. You don't have an account here." Now, in his case, he did have an account there, but if the check wasn't drawn from TCF Bank, they still don't know if there's funds behind the check.
Right.
So they have to put the check through overnight processing to actually start the debit.
Not just overnight. If it's a large check,
Well,
I mean,
if it's
this
a
is a check
cashier's
from
check.
a lawsuit. They're going to hold that for 10 days.
They're going to hold it likely unless it's a cashier's check.
Tens of thousands of dollars. They're not going to cash that for
We can
anybody.
clear some of that up right now. Thomas, who is suing for unspecified damages, was not arrested or charged during Tuesday's visit to TCF Bank, where its computer system read his check as fraudulent, according to police, but the check cleared some 12 hours later. Thomas opened a new account at Chase Bank in Detroit. The Air Force vet who previously walked to work then used the funds to buy a 2004 Dodge Durango, the Free Press reports. "I feel very intimidated because I knew that blah, blah, blah." Okay, so that's basically the gist of it. So the bank, TCF Bank, put it in their computer to check and see if it was good. Their computer said, "Oh, no, this check isn't good," and caused this altercation. But yet some 12
that
hours
computer's
later...
a racist.
Some 12 hours later, the check cleared, and he was able to open an account at Chase Bank instead of TCF Bank. So... And you're right. The mechanics of bank accounts are weird if you're not a customer. If you're not a customer, like before,
if you're not a customer, by definition, you don't have a bank account.
Right. I mean, like before all the direct deposit, if you got paid by an actual check, you would have to go to the bank that check was drawn on to actually cash it.
Well, now
unless you had an account with your
the-
bank to deposit in.
I had a bank charge me $5 for that.
What do you think about
Drawn on
banks?
them.
855 450 free like freedom. This is Free Talk Live, and we're here to talk to you.
Let me ask you something. What are you doing when you put money in a 401k or IRA, or store jumper cables in your vehicle, or purchase health insurance? You're preparing. You're preparing to ensure you have enough money for retirement. You're preparing for when your car battery dies, or to have assistance paying a major unexpected medical bill. That all makes sense. The same goes for building a food storage plan. You're preparing for when emergencies or disasters strike and shelves go empty at your grocery store. The best way to prepare is with My Patriot Supply. They've helped 1 million hardworking Americans become more self-sufficient. My Patriot Supply sells hundreds of items, including dozens of emergency food kits, at MyPatriotSupply.com. It could be an earthquake, a cyber attack freezing our banking system, or a disaster that shuts down our power grid for weeks. For all these emergencies and more, get your supplies and prepare today at MyPatriotSupply.com. No more rushing to find empty store shelves because you're too late. Do it now so you're ready. MyPatriotSupply.com.
If you have diabetes and you're on Medicare, Medicaid, or have private insurance, you may qualify for a new continuous glucose monitor. Managing your diabetes is crucial to your health. The new CGM can automatically and easily help you manage your diabetes more effectively. And by using a CGM, you can eliminate the one thing most people with diabetes dislike the most: finger sticks. Now you can automatically manage your diabetes and end the painful finger sticks. Solara Medical Supplies makes it simple for you to have a new CGM. We'll do all the insurance paperwork for you and deliver the newest in diabetic care technology right to your door. Take charge of your diabetes today with the help of a new continuous glucose monitor. Call now to learn more. 800-547-5331. 800-547-5331. 800-547-5331. That's 800-547-5331.
Free Talk Live.
So, yeah, Mark, they did ban all foreign flags from being flown in the event that they are the only flag being flown. But nonetheless, I mean,
it's the flying of a flag?
$50 fine and 30 hours of community service.
That's dumb. This doesn't really even affect
What do you think, this is the land of the free?
Most of the Mexican flags I see are CDs hanging from people's rear view mirrors, stickers.
I think we could qualify that.
That's not a flag.
It doesn't look like a flag. Got them colors on it.
No.
We're going to
It's a
charge you
CD.
$50 fine. $50. That's right.
That CD, what if the CD has music on it?
Don't matter. It's a flag.
It's not a flag. It's a CD.
If you're flying it
Clearly,
like a flag,
sir,
it's a flag, my friend.
It's not a flag. It's hanging from fishing wire from my rear view mirror.
Hanging equals flag.
No, hanging does not
flag
equal flag.
equals $50 fine. Pay up.
Well, I have
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up in any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
Come on. Yeah. Hello, everybody. It's Dave Mustaine from Megadeth. I'm just kidding. It's Captain
Not just regular
Kickass.
death, Megadeth.
We put the talk.
You know what that is, right?
In Free Talk.
Oh,
Live.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Do you?
It's a measurement of the number of millions of people killed by nuclear or atomic explosion.
I didn't know, but I didn't know who that was. I knew who the band was.
No, that's
Right.
I believe what the name is. Megadeth.
That's where they
Megadeth
derive
is.
the name from. They do misspell it, however.
Yeah.
So basically, they're saying that there were 2.5 megadeaths last century for democide.
If it was regarding, I believe it's specifically with atomic or nuclear weapons.
I
isn't
believe
it?
so, yeah.
Or is it just any old millions of deaths?
No,
I have to look that one up.
Yeah, will you look it up? Because I'm not sure
They
now.
should use the metric system. I mean, if 1,000 people die, it's a kill a death. If 10 people die, it's a cent a death.
I always thought it was the number of people, injured in the mosh pit at a thrash metal show. That was the Megadeth count, right? That's what I thought.
Megadeath, Megadeath, a unit of 1 million deaths used in estimating or predicting the fatalities that would occur in a nuclear war. So it is specific to...
Right, because I remember, even the
there's
bands...
very few things besides communism and nuclear war that are going to kill 1 million people.
True. I mean, it could be plagues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coronavirus.
The beer virus.
Although only a government would develop that, so it's still...
That's true. We've been talking about a whole bunch of stuff tonight, but before we go on, I want to tell you about LibertyCon. Here is a Liberty update from LibertyCon. Don't miss these two very special debates. First, is government necessary? One of my favorite things to talk about because, well, no, in my belief anyway, I believe it is not. This debate will feature David Friedman, Milton Friedman's son, which is cool, and Timothy Sandifer. I hope I'm not butchering his name horribly. David will be arguing that government isn't necessary, while Timothy will be arguing that government is necessary. And second, does capitalism require government intervention? In this debate, Gene Epstein, the economics editor for Barron's, will debate Stephen Pearlstein of the Washington Post. Epstein will argue against intervention, and Pearlstein will argue in favor of it. Also, John Mackey, the Whole Foods CEO, will speak on conscious capitalism. Be a part of LibertyCon. LibertyCon is a unique liberty convention April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. That's the District of Criminals, for people who want to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations for career advancement, business, or internship opportunities. Visit libertycon.com for more details on our incredible list of speakers, events, and student discounts. That's libertycon.com. Use code FTL for a $10 discount. And that's insanely inexpensive.
Yeah, and I think students get half off just because they're students.
Wow.
Yeah.
What do you have to do, produce like a student ID?
I don't know. I'm not a student.
Okay.
I mean, I'm a student of life, but not in the way that they're...
I wonder if you could get
I can enroll you in my seminary.
That sounds dirty.
He took me in the rectum, or in the rectory.
She's the kind of girl that stole men's hearts, then wrecked them. That's an old Dr. Demento song called
Wrecked him hell, damn near killed him.
It's called I wanna kiss her butt. She won't let me.
That's the title of the song?
There's a distinct pause. It's it's a country song. I wanna kiss her butt. She won't let me. Yeah. I want to whisper sweet nothings in her rear.
You ever hear the one that was she was coyote ugly? She told me she loved me and asked me to make her my wife. So I bought her a ring, made her promise one thing: the bitch would walk backwards for the rest of her life.
Well, speaking of people forcing people to do things, we've been talking a bit about cops tonight. It seems to be a recurring theme. And I wanted to touch...
Yeah, that's not uncommon on this show.
I wanted to touch on this article from activistpost.com out of Kentucky, apparently. There's a new bill to allow cops to detain citizens, force them to explain who they are and what they're doing. Now, we joked a little bit about... this
I don't even know.
I know I'm 47. I don't really know who I am yet, and really what I want to do. I wanted to be a bunch of things when I grew up, and now that I'm supposedly grown up, I'm still like, I don't really know what I want to do. I guess I'm doing them. I wanted to be on the radio. I wanted to play music, so I've done some of that stuff. But
so how are they going to force people to do that when you should have the right not to speak?
That is a great question. Out of Kentucky, an ominous bill that is currently making its way through the Kentucky Senate, aims to give police unprecedented unconstitutional powers. These new powers will allow cops to stop anyone they want and demand that person tell them who they are, where they're going, and explain their actions.
Well, okay. So this is the Free Thought Project that you're reading, or Activist Post.
Yeah.
Yeah, the same. Matt Agrist, I believe,
It is
writes
Matt
for
Agrist,
both of
yep.
those places. And I'm not saying that, he's a bad guy. I've never met him. I'm sure he does a lot of good work for freedom. But you have to be careful when you read this stuff. The cops can demand that you say a thing, but does that mean you have an obligation to respond? I say you need to give me your ID. Well, what if I don't? Can you arrest me because I didn't? What if I, choose to exercise my right to remain silent? What if I inform you that I'll be remaining silent and not answering your questions, and I don't want to talk to the police without an attorney present, and even then I don't really want to talk to the police?
Well, those are great questions.
He's saying it's unconstitutional, and I agree, and I suspect this is going to be overturned if it actually passes.
And naturally, it has civil rights advocates up in arms, but it doesn't seem to be slowing down the bill's momentum. Police merely need to make an unsubstantiated claim that a person is involved in criminal activity, which gives them free rein to stop that person, demand his name, home address, and age, as well as ask to see his driver's license if he has one.
They can do that right now.
Already, right?
They don't need to have a law that gives them permission to ask to see your driver's license. If a cop wants to, he can stop you on the streets, even if he doesn't have probable cause to do so, or even reasonable articulable suspicion, and he can say, whatever he wants to say to you.
He can ask you for whatever he wants.
Yep,
he just can't take it.
Absolutely. If you invoke your constitutional right not to answer the officer's questions, this new bill grants cops the right, quote unquote, I'm putting quotes in there because it's not in the article, grants cops the right to detain you for 2 hours.
Okay, so that's new. Yeah, I see that.
Even more ominous is the fact that this detainment is not considered an arrest. So you have no right to an attorney, and the police don't even have to record it.
Yeah, so they're saying, oh, well, this person's not talking to us, therefore we're going to consider that suspicious because normal people don't know their rights, and normal people will talk to the police. They'll just blab about anything and then get themselves arrested for what they've said, because that's what the police are trying to do when they ask you questions, is they want you to admit to something that you didn't think was illegal, but they know is illegal, so they have a reason to put you in handcuffs. So, again, I'm not an attorney. This isn't legal advice, but it sounds like they're saying here, well, someone not identifying, someone not showing their ID, that's unusual. We think that's going to give us reasonable, articulable suspicion that the person may have committed a crime, and so we need time to investigate this person's identity, so therefore let us detain him for 2 hours.
It sounds like, to me, an analogy for me would be the religious analogy where this is sort of an arrest purgatory. Right? You're not really under arrest, even though you're being detained, which is the definition of arrest.
You're not free to leave, but you're not under arrest.
You're under arrest.
Right, yeah.
If they're holding you for 2 hours, you're under arrest.
This non-arrest gray area detention will undoubtedly be rife for abuse. Nevertheless, advocates for the police state tyranny say cops must have this new ability, well, of course they do, to keep us safe. As Kentucky.com reports, Senator Stephen Meredith R. Litchfield?
He's a Republican from Litchfield.
Oh, I see. Well, he said Grayson County law enforcement officials asked him for the bill after a number of local incidents showed the need for it.
So a number could be one.
A number.
So the cops had...
It could also be zero. Zero
There's
is a number.
negative numbers.
Yeah. 0.5 is a number.
So the cops had an incident with some guy who told him, I don't answer questions, or some other line like that.
Have you been in Kentucky recently, Ian?
No, I have never been.
Just checking.
Never been to Kentucky.
I have. I've been to Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Hey, we're on the air there on Saturday nights.
Oh, nice.
WKCT.
Well, perhaps we'll get a caller from Bowling Green one day.
Not tonight, but yeah, we have in the past. Maybe this is all our fault. Maybe because we're in Kentucky.
That would be great.
Somebody heard us talking about knowing your rights and exercising them,
and they refused to talk to the cop. And
it could have happened like that.
Wow.
We'll take the blame.
The article goes on. If a man acts suspicious, then why wouldn't you want to know what his name is? Meredith said in an interview.
It's suspicious to them that you just want to go about your way and
be
go
left
about your
alone
night.
if you're not doing anything, not harming anybody,
and not spend any more time talking to a man with his hand over a gun.
I can't imagine any legitimate reason in the world why a person would refuse to give their name and photo identification to a police officer if they were asked. I can imagine many.
None of your damn
How
business.
many can you imagine? We'll talk more about this with your calls. 855-450-FREE. This is Free Talk Live. freetalklive.com.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Have you ever wanted to work when you wanted to work instead of having to report to an office? Have you ever felt trapped by relationship rules like monogamy? I'm Caleb Jones, and I have taught hundreds of thousands of men how to create low-work, high-income businesses and how to date women under your terms. Watch our free, live, on-demand replay training with me so you can learn how to create location-independent income and date women the way you want. Go to alpha.freetalklive.com.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,583, silver at $18.10, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,925. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, Harvard public health scientist Dr. Eric Feigl-Ding is describing the current coronavirus outbreak as bad, at a, quote, thermonuclear pandemic level bad, end quote. The virus has killed 82 people, infected almost 3,000 more, and spread to multiple other countries. And Dr. Feigl-Ding has been tweeting about it nonstop since last week. It's the third time since 2003 that a coronavirus has made the jump from animals to humans. Feigl-Ding, who holds a dual doctorate in epidemiology and nutrition, began by expressing that he is deeply worried about the outbreak and indicated it may be silently contagious, a fact that has now been confirmed by China's National Health Commission minister. On Friday, Dr. Feigl-Ding prefaced his calculations that the reproductive value of the virus is 3.8 by saying, quote, Holy Mother of God, end quote. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. A Peruvian indigenous group has won a lengthy court battle to save their land from oil exploration. The land is located in the Amazon along the border between Peru and Brazil. There have been plans to turn the land into an oil field, until the scheme was blocked in court by a network of local indigenous tribes. The Mind Unleashed reports the tribes were represented by the Institute of Legal Defense, who spent over 2 years pursuing a lawsuit, demanding that the government stop authorizing the development of oil lots in the Laredo region of Peru's northern Amazon. According to the IDL, the judge in the case ordered the establishment of a strict protection zone around the indigenous land. The contested land will remain in the control of the Regional Organization of Indigenous Peoples of the East. If not for the lawsuit and subsequent ruling, it would have been very likely that the Amazonian land would have been destroyed by oil companies. The Associated Press reports a staggering surge of U.S. troops into the Middle East since last spring. Over the past 8 months, the United States has poured more than 20,000 additional troops into the Middle East to counter the escalating threat from Iran that peaked with the recent missile attack on American forces in Iraq, according to the AP report. That comes despite President Trump's multiple prior pledges to bring the troops home, especially related to Syria and Iraq. The anti-media reports that following the Soleimani assassination and subsequent Iranian ballistic missile retaliation on Ain al-Assad Air Base, where Friday it was reported that 34 soldiers suffered traumatic brain injuries, the trend in force buildup looks to continue. The top commander for U.S. forces in the Middle East told a gathering of Marines and sailors during a speech aboard the USS Baton on Thursday that they could be there for quite a while. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Overburdened with material comforts, America's wealthy can expect another disappointing holiday this year. As Brian Scott tells us, the rich will simply be buying too many things to experience the true meaning of Christmas.
All across the country, those at the top of the economic ladder are denied a privilege that the poorest of the poor take for granted. Rather than fall victim to the rampant consumerism that seems to increase each year, the poor find meaningful joy in simple Christmas traditions, like singing carols to keep warm and hugging relatives who have not yet died. At stores like these, the spiritually bereft must scramble for popular holiday toys in a vain attempt to duplicate the Christmas-time happiness that the impoverished enjoy.
Poor people are grateful for just a roof over their heads or something to eat. My wife and I are both lawyers, so that's not enough for us. Certainly hope poor people don't take what they don't have for granted.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, the extra special Monday evening Kickass edition, where I am trying to run things around here. We'll see how far I get. So far, we haven't been kicked off the air. People have called. We've had conversations. And with us tonight, it's myself, Captain Kickass.
It's Ian.
And nobody.
And we've been talking about a whole bunch of stuff, but we were talking about this new law, or proposed law, apparently, in Kentucky that gives cops a sort of a purgatory of sorts. They can detain you without arresting you somehow, and somehow it's not considered arrest. If, for whatever reason, you refuse to give your name or produce ID or, whatever else, I'm sure the cops decide that, they want to detain you for up to 2 hours, as the article has pointed out. And it's, we were talking about this guy Meredith said in the interview, I can't imagine any legitimate reason in the world why a person would refuse to give their name and photo identification to a police officer if they were asked. Really? Do
you have something to hide, citizen?
show us your papers, please, right? I mean, that's...
Yeah, show us the Kennedy documents.
That's what this sounds like to me.
How about they show us their paper?
Yeah. In other words, if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear. Or, in other words, submit to the police state. Wrong. Well, Senator Meredith, we'd like to educate you on why a person would refuse to talk to a police, because it is our right not to. Legislation like this is...
Yeah, before you go on, maybe because the people they're talking to have had their friends arrested by the police for some garbage, like trying to go to the bank and cashing a check, or having a bag of marijuana, or being under 21 and having a
cigarette,
an alcohol or cigarette or something like that, a drink. So maybe the police have abused some people that are close to this individual. Maybe the cop shot someone's dog.
That's what I was going to say. Maybe they shot your animal.
Maybe they shot your uncle.
Mm-hmm. So those would all be good reasons to not want to talk to these people.
Maybe they shot you, who knows?
And I understand that each...
Maybe they threw you in jail for a year and a half.
For no reason, really?
And I understand that, each police officer is an individual, but they're all wearing the same badge and they're all wearing the same uniform, and they do purport to enforce the same laws. Now, individually, some of them may look the other way and they may do the right thing in certain circumstances, but by default, you don't know if you're dealing with that cop. When there's a cop who's pulling you over or demanding that you show ID on the side of the road, there's a good chance that's not the right cop. That's not the good cop, because the good cop would probably leave you the F alone.
Well, and it's always unnerving to deal with somebody when you know that they could just pull out a gun and shoot you in the face and get away with it for no reason, even if they did it on video.
And let's not forget the recurring times that we've heard about people impersonating police officers.
That happens, yeah.
That's
they don't
very
scare
valid
me
reason,
as much.
Right, but I mean, like, if somebody's got the costume, right? How do you know? How do you know for sure? You don't.
How do you know that person didn't just steal that police cruiser that they're driving?
That's right.
I'd feel safer if he did.
Mm-hmm.
So legislation like this is straight out of the playbook of every tyranny in history. Right, we talked about your papers, please. That phrase often brought shudders to the people who heard it in the 1930s and 40s. It is, the German translation is your papers, please. And this bill is nearly identical to that.
That's
sinister...
actually English. They don't say your papers, please.
No, they
German.
say, I can't pronounce it because, well, I'm horrible at pronouncing German, but it's written here. Critics of the bill are pointing to its obvious unconstitutional nature, and I'm just going to comment here, never mind its immoral nature, and note how cops can already go after people if they suspect them of committing a crime. As Kentucky.com reports, critics say Meredith's bill would violate the Fourth Amendment protection against unreasonable search and seizure and the Fifth Amendment protection against self-incrimination. Police officers already have the right to approach people on the street and ask their names, but it's established that citizens can refuse to respond, said Aaron Tusek.
Okay, just want to put something in here that that's the ACLU of Kentucky who's responding there. It may be that in Kentucky you can refuse to respond, but in other states there are different rules, as I understand it, about police asking for ID in the streets. In some states, the police apparently have the right to ask and that you have to respond to them. It doesn't mean you have to carry identification on you, but it does mean that you have to at least tell them who you are and maybe your date of birth or something like that.
Wow.
I don't like those rules. I don't think they're constitutional.
But anything else that you talk about could be incriminating.
Well, yeah. Well,
That's true.
just because, I live here now, what is the New Hampshire?
I can't give you legal advice. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I've heard that in New Hampshire the police have the right to ask, but I don't think you have an obligation to reply, but I could be wrong.
It took me...
Actually, I can tell you from experience a little bit about that. We did a thing at they had a police checkpoint for drunk drivers, and one of the guys
in New Hampshire.
In New Hampshire in Keene, and
let me guess,
so
randomly stopping people.
We
right?
were out protesting it.
Okay,
and one of the guys, I got a call on the radio, and one of the guys said he was getting rousted by the cops, and he was standing right in a roundabout by Cumbies.
Okay. Cumbies is a convenience store for those who don't know.
Yeah, and he refused to give these cops his name for like an hour, and it drove them crazy. They were, but they did not.
They didn't
arrest him or acted on. And so they started asking the rest of us what his name was. And so I said, well, you can call him Ray, or you can call him Jay, or you can call him Ray J, or you can call him AJ, but don't ever call him Melvin.
None of which were his name.
And they literally turned around, they got back in the cars or drove away. I had a bullhorn with me, and so I'm yelling after them, are we still being detained? Are we free to go now?
So I would say that experience suggests that it is not illegal.
If they could have arrested us, I'm pretty sure they would have.
I'll look up the actual, what it is, post show. But this ACLU representative says that they cannot detain people simply for not identifying themselves or explaining their activities, quote, to the satisfaction of the officer, unquote. Well, that's currently what's in place, as opposed to what this is going to put in place.
Yeah, and the thing is, you have a Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's two kinds of information you can give to a cop under those circumstances. Incriminating or irrelevant.
Right. The whole section of the bill on detention, they can call it whatever they want, but Supreme Court case law is pretty clear that an arrest is not determined by whether you call it an arrest. It's determined by the restraint you place on someone's liberty, Tucek said.
Mm-hmm.
If you put someone in the back of a police car, or if you take them down to the police station, or if you otherwise refuse to let them go on their way, that's an arrest. And in our country, he's referring to the United States of America, you cannot do that without probable cause. And I mean, obviously.
Oh, but just don't call it an arrest.
Yeah. Well, that's what they're saying. They're saying, oh, well, this is this sort of special detainment that's not an arrest. Right? They're trying to give it a different name. But detaining
that's
somebody.
That's one of their favorite ways to lie.
You just have to look at the definition of detainment and, oh, yep, okay, you're stopping somebody. It's like if somebody's walking down a tight hallway, and you get in their way. Guess what? You've detained that person. If you don't allow them to go on their way, they've been detained, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's literally what it means to arrest somebody, is to stop them from doing what they're doing.
He goes on, the idea that we can detain people because we find them to be suspicious and we think they might commit a crime, that crosses a dangerous line. Rebecca DiLoretto, who lobbies in Frankfurt for the Kentucky Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers, said, unfortunately, it's been known to happen sometimes in a mostly white community where someone spots a black person walking down the street and they get suspicious and call police. I don't know. What do you think? Is it necessary for this to be a thing? Do you like it when the police detain you for, any reason?
I think I'm staying out of Kentucky.
855-450-FREE. Give us a call. Tell us your thoughts.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help. Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite. Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free. New improved Lico Chops with omega-6, omega-3, vitamin E, and now 6 extra direct-fed microbials. Even better for the digestive tract and immune system. And dogs love it. Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free. This is Henry Lukasevic for Dynavite.
DINOVITE.com.
I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet. Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting LibertyCon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's LibertyCon.com. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
The political world is a maddening cesspool of corruption and lies. Nobody tells the truth. Nobody keeps campaign promises. Nobody obeys the Constitution. Nobody puts the people first. How can we ever escape this web of tyranny? Vote for nobody.
Hi, my name is Nobody. I'm running for governor of New Hampshire because nobody knows how to live your life better than you do, and nobody deserves that kind of power. I want to put you back in control of your money, your lifestyle, your work, your body, and your life. Nobody should rule you but you. New Hampshire convicts many people of so-called crimes that should never have been prosecuted. If elected, I will pardon every victimless crime in New Hampshire history. This includes drug, gambling, prostitution, gun, and driving offenses. Nobody should have a criminal record when they have not harmed anybody.
Wouldn't it be nice to have nobody telling you what to do? Learn more at electnobody.com. electnobody.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you get the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. anypayinc.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. Call in and talk about whatever's on your mind. Our toll-free number...
Edition.
It is the Kickass edition, actually. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. I've been here on Mondays for quite some time, and somehow I BS'd my way into attempting to run the show from the helmsman position, if you will.
You went to college for running board, didn't you?
So thank you for... Well, I mean, I went to college for audio engineering. And this is at the dawn of the digital age. So yeah. I learned mostly analog recording engineering because
reel to reel.
Yeah, like 2-inch tape, how to synchronize two 2-inch 24-track tape machines together using a line of SMPTE time code on one to sync to the other.
Wow, I never learned that stuff.
And if you get it wrong, you end up with some really cool special effects.
And an angry client.
Yeah, how to backmask, like real backmasking. You literally flip the tape over on the tape deck itself.
Wow.
So yeah. And that concludes the audio engineering portion of tonight's show.
No. I'm going to get an answer on this.
Oh, what's the question?
Why would you turn the tape backwards?
You flip it upside down to backmask.
Which is?
That's when, so if you flip the tape over and you hit record and you say something like, "My gosh, that chocolate sure is good." Right? When you flip the tape over the right way, you hear something similar to, and this is where, like,
you've heard about like the satanic messages and
Black
songs.
Sabbath.
It's like playing something backwards.
It's called backmasking. You mask the thing backwards.
Interesting.
And then when you play it forwards, it sounds all weird. You know, Ozzy did it. Black Sabbath. A bunch of the metal bands did it. Slayer
in the day when they were suing rock bands for that,
Simpsons did it. No, I don't.
The
Red Rum.
I actually experimented with playing things backwards, and apparently if you say Jesus loves you backwards, it comes out as we smell sausages, which I think is a plot to drive people to kill and eat police officers. And I support it.
Well, the most disappointing backmasking that I'm aware of was by the arena rock band known as Styx, S-T-Y-X.
Oh, I love Styx.
They did a backmask on, I don't remember what album it was. It might have been their Bad 80s album, Mr. Roboto or something. But
yeah, it was on Mr. Roboto. It was the beginning of High Times, I think.
And they... What you heard was or whatever. When you played it backwards, it was Anunet Queptis Novus Ordosiclorum, which is the Latin written on your dollar bill.
Yeah, I can hear exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I had a passionate affair with Mr. Roboto.
Really?
When I was a
what
teenager.
did Mrs. Roboto think about that?
Well, she helped.
Did she ever find out, or was it just a secret between you and the mister?
Oh, yeah, she joined in.
Okay. Was Kilroy there?
I can't tell.
Because Kilroy says he was here.
Kilroy is everywhere.
Before we go on, I wanted to tell you about the next generation wallet that's coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to spend, earn, store, and exchange digital money in seconds. Divvy says you'll be able to send money around the globe in only a swipe and instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. There's no need to wait, though, as Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with their multi-tiered master nodes, allowing anyone to earn by supporting the Divvy network. When the new Divvy wallet launches, because of Divvy's relationship with Western Union, Divvy will be in 200 countries, including the United States. You can learn more at divvyproject.org. That's divvyproject.org. So we're talking about this insanely pseudo-Nazi-ish tyrannical law coming out of
It's
Kentucky.
not Nazi. It's just straight up authoritarian.
Your papers, please, isn't that? I mean,
yeah.
that was made
Well,
famous
what people associate it with is the scene from Casablanca.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Indeed.
Well, I suspect the Russians were also asking for papers.
Oh yeah, the Russians were asking for papers. You know, I mean, the more you oppress people, the more they try to kill you most of the time. So you know.
So, you know, we talked a lot about this. This person, DeLoretta, also pointed out the menacing nature of cops being able to essentially kidnap anyone they want for hours and keep it off the record. I mean, that sounds like...
That's disturbing.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that is just... I mean, that's something straight out of 1984, right? You know, no record of your detainment at all. You know, it's just... I don't like it. No, sir. I don't like it.
I guarantee they try that on me. There's going to be a record.
Nobody ever...
I'm going to leave a mark.
She says, nobody ever should be taken into police custody without a record being made of it, she said. That's starting to approach what you see in a police state such as Soviet Russia, DeLoretta said. So,
yeah.
You know, what do you think? Is it authoritarian?
Yeah.
855-453.
What else could it be?
I mean,
I think it's sufficient reason to shoot somebody in the face.
Some people might be all, well, if you don't have anything to hide, right?
Oh,
you
yeah.
know.
A lot of people will say that. I mean, we
But
had some
police
of those.
are good.
2 hours of my time has value for starts.
I wonder if, like, if you're... people try to do this in customer service scenarios where, like, if something goes wrong and they call into their customer, like their cable goes out or whatever, they try to be like, well, I earn $350 an hour as an attorney, so for every hour my internet's off, I'm going to charge you $350. And it never flies because it's just not how it works. But
no, you usually get prorated based on what the cost of the actual internet is. But yeah, I can understand why somebody would be frustrated by that.
Yeah, I just wonder if, like, you could, like, if you're detained for 2 hours and then they let you go, can you, you know...
Well, Jay Noon would say yes, you can. If he were here tonight, he's our Wednesday night co-host, and he does advocate for sending a fee schedule to the government goons, which lets people know if you're going to demand an hour of my time, it's going to cost $10,000 or $1,000 or whatever our number that you want to put on that.
Yeah.
And then you send them a bill at the end of it. And of course, they won't pay it, but it's a cool idea.
I've heard them talk about that.
Well, the thing is, they might. There's people who make a lot of money by just sending bills to random large corporations that are, so big that they don't know what they're doing.
I would love to see some evidence that someone did get paid by the government in that way. I mean, that would be fantastic. I haven't seen it. I've heard a lot of people talking about it. I've heard Jay talking about it, and I love Jay, and he's a man who does what he says he's going to do. So I believe he probably has issued these notices to governments.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt that at all.
Demanding the money. I just don't think they paid him for it.
I can't imagine they have.
And I don't think there's any way that you could hold them to it. I mean, I wish you could. It'd be great.
Yeah, well, sometimes just making the demand is enough.
Well, it's symbolic.
Well, not enough, but it's
it's not going to change how they behave, but it brings to their attention that they've stolen your time.
I mean, the thing is, sometimes you have to wade in and take take the ass whooping.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you have to just stand up and even if you're going to lose, try to take something back from.
Well, I agree with you that it's, you should stand up and, assert your freedom whenever possible. 855 450 free like freedom. It's Free Talk Live. Give us a call. Let us know what you think about these draconian laws.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
I love freedom. Do you love freedom?
I do.
I do too.
I like the idea of it.
Me too.
I mean, I've never met it, but it's like somebody you know on the internet. You know, you think you would love them if you saw them.
Thanks for tuning in. This is Free Talk Live. Tonight am your host in the helmsman chair, Captain Kickass, and with me is...
Yeah, it's Ian.
And the nobody formerly known as Rich Paul.
And you have a website, don't you, Nobody?
I do. I'm at electnobody.com because I'm running for governor. And the reason I'm running for governor is because nobody knows how to live your life better than you do, and nobody should have that kind of power over you. And I don't want it.
Amen. And speaking of freedom, one of the tools of freedom, that is to set yourself apart from any authoritarian sort of organization that's helped me, would be this little invention called Bitcoin. And Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. That's local.bitcoin.com. And speaking of Bitcoin Cash, a little bird has flew down and landed on my shoulder and put a thing in my ear that says there's some sort of drama surrounding Bitcoin Cash. I'm on different drugs than you are.
Oh, okay.
There's a little drama surrounding Bitcoin Cash and something about that they're calling a tax. I can't believe it. Tell me more about this, Ian.
Well, I don't know about drama, but there's
there's always drama in the cryptocurrency
Save the
world
drama for your mama.
They just can't get along with each other, and large groups of people always end up having schisms between them, whether it be religions or
well, that's good because
cryptocurrencies.
without that, we'd only have one coin.
Well, that's true.
Well, we had one coin and it was a sham, so now it's gone.
There was a scam called OneCoin. That's what you're referring to there. It wasn't even a cryptocurrency. That's a whole other story. You want to talk about drama? That OneCoin situation is
that was
insane.
Drama, yeah.
But the crypto world is a bunch of different people, and different people have different beliefs and different mindsets and different expectations as far as what they think their cryptocurrency or favorite cryptocurrency should do. And then when they find a cryptocurrency that they really like, it turns out that there's people within that community that don't agree necessarily with them on how the coin should be managed or mined or whatever into the future, and then they end up having a schism. So we've seen it happen with the original Bitcoin BTC in 2017. It had its first schism, if you will. I think that's the best term for it. They hard forked Bitcoin into two separate competing currencies, one called Bitcoin Cash, the other called Bitcoin.
Right.
And the Bitcoin Cash folks at the time were arguing that their Bitcoin was the one true Bitcoin, the one that was truest to the vision of Satoshi Nakamoto, the creator of Bitcoin, who is anonymous.
Or creators.
Right. We don't know who that person is.
To me, the idea of having one true cryptocurrency, it's like saying there's going to be one true bank. It's like, no, there's going to be all kinds of people out there running all kinds of different currency, offering different services.
It does sound rather religious too. The one
It's very religious.
Not everybody wants the same things or has the same values. So how
Right.
could one cryptocurrency satisfy everybody?
It never could be that way. So I agree with you on that, Nobody. But that doesn't stop people from throwing in with their favorite and going all in with their favorite. And that's one of the things that I think we've done right here in Keene, New Hampshire, where we have Crypto Mecca, where we have real life businesses that can accept and do accept cryptocurrency for payment. We set them up where they can take more than one crypto. There's not people here who, at least I don't know very many people who are these adherents of, I'm in this tribe and that's the only tribe. This is my crypto and it's the only crypto.
Well, what you call a maximalist?
There's one guy who's really into Bitcoin SV here in Keene. So there is that.
Well, and then we have some developers in here who develop their own crypto, and they're all about their. But I don't think they're
going to
necessarily
be all about your baby,
right?
But
they're not against the other cryptos,
right? Exactly. That's the point I was going to make.
And I'm talking about the people who are 100% all in with one crypto. They hate all the other cryptos.
Yeah, that's insane.
And this is the kind of ridiculous mentality that you'll find online. Now, luckily, the average person who's just getting into cryptocurrency hopefully won't see this. Right? Hopefully they'll just go watch a nice video about how Bitcoin works, and then they'll get into it and they'll dabble and they'll get a few altcoins. But man, if they start pulling back the ugly layer of Twitter or whatever on the internet and looking at these communities,
all the Reddit threads,
it gets really bad. So, but that's what you should expect from the internet. It's
well,
not
that's what
different
you
than
should
anything
expect
else.
from any group of people.
I was going to say
no
from
group
humans,
of people that doesn't squabble,
Right.
and it's lucky that they do, because that's how new things get started.
Yeah.
People get pissed off and they go, I'm going to go do something else, and 9 times out of 10 they fall flat, but once in a while they come up with something great.
Right, and Bitcoin Cash is still out there. It came out in 2017, and then Bitcoin Cash had its first schism in late 2018. So just over a year after Bitcoin Cash was birthed to the world, Bitcoin SV, which calls itself Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, or Satoshi
There's
Vision.
some other ones in between there. There's
there was
Bitcoin
dozens of Bitcoin.
Gold.
Yeah. That was
and-
another Bitcoin. I was talking about the history of Bitcoin Cash.
Right.
So you're confusing what happened with Bitcoin with
Oh,
Bitcoin Cash.
okay.
So Bitcoin Cash was the first schism of Bitcoin.
Okay.
And then Bitcoin Cash schismed itself a year later.
Right, I didn't
into Bitcoin SV.
realize that we were only looking at one fork of the fork wars.
Right. If you want to talk about the Bitcoin forks, we'd have to talk about dozens of forks. Which
Everything's
is way
a
too much.
Bitcoin fork, at least intellectually.
Yeah, I want to know about this drama surrounding the newest.
Yeah, I'm just trying to bring you up to speed here, right? So now you got Bitcoin SV that's split off back in late 2018, and the SV people believe that this guy named Craig Wright is the true Satoshi, and that he is the one king, and that his coin is the true So it's a silly nonsense, right? So now Bitcoin Cash has another potential schism coming up in May because of this 12.5%, what some people are calling a tax. Now, whether it's a tax or not, that's worth discussing. Here's the story from Cointelegraph. Leading Bitcoin Cash personalities, including Bitmain CEO Jahan Wu and Bitcoin.com CEO Roger Ver, who is one of the sponsors here on Free Talk Live. But I'll be clear, Roger doesn't tell us what we have to have as far as opinions are concerned about this stuff.
Well, he's been a fan of the show for a long time.
Proposed on January 22nd an infrastructure funding plan that would see miners donating 12.5% of all block rewards to a Hong Kong entity. Many in the community have turned harsh critics of the proposal.
Wait. How is that a donation?
Because you would continue
it's not a donation, it's a fee, because they're demanding it.
Okay, so what they're proposing, as I understand it, would be to change the system. And so what happens with Bitcoin Cash is every 6 months they do what's called a hard fork, where they upgrade the software. Some would argue they're not upgrading, they're breaking it or whatever. But they make changes to the software that they think are improving it. And so new features come about as a result.
It's the new rev, right?
Yeah, and so they do it in May, and they do it 6 months after that. So May and November, I guess. And so in May, they're talking about, and I don't know if it's a done deal yet, but the proposal on the table is to make it so that every time a block is mined in Bitcoin Cash, and this happens every 10 minutes, the miners that are competing out there to find new blocks, one of them finds it, and then they get a 12.5 Bitcoin Cash block reward.
Okay.
Now, in this case, that's going to be cut in half this year. By the way, they're doing the halvening.
The
as they call it.
halvening, right?
So that's going to go to 6.25. But what they're proposing now is that every block, so that 6.25 or the 12.5 or whatever it is, they're going to take 12.5% of that amount, and they're going to shovel that over into a corporation that's supposedly designed to promote and to help Bitcoin Cash. Does that make sense?
I mean, okay, but I don't understand how that's a donation. Their verbiage
it's not
wrong.
a donation. It's a fee.
Yeah.
And the thing is,
did I say donation? Because it doesn't say that here.
Oh.
I think they were trying to phrase it as a
yeah.
donation.
Well, right. The people who don't like it are going to call it a tax, and the people who do like it will call it a donation.
Well, it's neither, because the thing is, they can't make you run the new software.
That's right.
They can't make you stop running the old software.
That's where the
so
schism
is it a tax or is it a donation?
Your
Give us a
version
call
either.
and let us know. freetalklive.com 855-450-FREE.
Are you afraid to go to the mailbox because of letter after letter from the IRS? Are they stacking on more and more penalties and interest? By now, you know the problem won't go away on its own. Don't let the IRS chase you to your grave with penalties and interest and liens and levies. You need real help now. I'm Dan Pilla. I wrote the book on tax debt settlement, and I help thousands of people solve tax problems they thought couldn't be solved. I can help you too. Call 800-34-NO-TAX or go to my website, danpilla.com. That's danpilla.com. danpilla.com.
Warning, don't let your business get left behind in what is likely to be the biggest economic boom in recent history. If you need to build for your business to grow, call General Steel today for a pre-engineered steel building designed for your needs. No wasted space. Steel prices are expected to rise, but you can still lock in your price on a General Steel building. And you can still save as much as half the cost and time of conventional construction. As much as half. But you must call now. If you need a church building, office, warehouse, manufacturing space, retail space, or more, call General Steel today. You can still get the General's 50-year structural warranty and General Steel quality, all at a price you can afford. So don't let rising steel prices put your project out of reach and stop you from making your company great.
800-965-1295. 800-965-1295. 800-965-1295. That's 800-965-1295.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp, is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. The LRN.FM's social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
Hello, me. Meet the real me.
In my misfits way of life,
a dark black past is mine.
I could keep going, but we've got a show to do.
I could too. This is not Dave Mustaine of the heavy metal band Megadeth. This is Captain Kickass, and this is Free Talk Live. I'm here live in the studio tonight with...
that was Ian Freeman, Sweating Bullets.
And?
Nobody.
All right. You're not to be confused with
Sweating Bullets?
That's the name of the song that we were lyricsing there.
Nobody, not to be confused with Noah Body. That's two distinct names, a first name and a last name, whereas your name is a mononym, right? Just Nobody.
Well, not according to the bank, apparently.
Well,
I tried to call Chase today, and they refused to believe that my name was Nobody, and they would have and I have an account with them.
That is
it
fantastic.
never would have happened if I'd been white.
Hey, this is Free Talk Live. We are a live call-in show, and you'll never guess. We have a call. And this is Joe from Great Falls, Montana, listening in on KINX. Says here, Joe, you want to talk about music, tennis shoes, and making kids do things. What's on your mind, Joe?
Yeah, I was just calling in response
good.
to that guy from Georgia earlier that was saying that famous basketball players are forcing him to ruin his kids by buying them $400 shoes. And I think the only ones ruining his
There's
kids
like four
are
things to unpack in that sentence.
yeah, the only ones ruining their kids are the ones that are buying the $400 tennis shoes, if you ask me.
Yeah.
And, I mean, having a basketball player on the ads for tennis shoes is pretty compelling. A lot of people go out and buy tennis shoes, but no one's forcing you to.
Do you think, Joe, that
no one's
kids...
forcing you to, but there is a very organized group of people promoting it, and promoting it very hard.
Joe, do you think that when kids see, a famous athlete wearing, special shoes, right, branded after that athlete, that they believe that if they get a pair of shoes just like that athlete, that they'll be able to, run, jump, hike, whatever, kick as good as that guy?
Of course
yeah,
they don't.
kids believe that because advertising's successful.
I remember when I was growing up, it was the pumps. They had the pumps.
It's more a matter of wanting some kind of association.
Joe, I have to ask, what kind of tennis shoes are you wearing right now? Do you have a brand?
I'm wearing cowboy boots.
There you go.
Oh, that's right. You're from Montana. Does everybody in Montana wear cowboy boots?
I'm wearing $30 steel-toed work boots from Walmart.
Huh.
And if people in Montana don't wear cowboy boots, that's what they're wearing is $30 steel-toed boots.
There you go. What did you have to say about music, Joe?
Well, it's the same thing when it comes to rap music. It's I think Nobody there, Mr. Nobody, made a good point where I think you referenced that the fact that music is a powerful communication medium. Paraphrasing it because I don't remember your exact quote. It's a powerful medium of communication, but it still doesn't force you to do anything.
Well, it doesn't force you to do anything, but I mean, have you heard of brainwashing? Because that's what the media is doing 24/7, not just to black people, to everybody.
Yes. Yep. That's what, then that's exact same, that's what advertising is. That's what music is. When it all comes down to it, individuals, we do have our choice to whether we should expose ourselves to that brainwashing or not.
Yeah.
We're losing him.
Yeah, Joe, we've developed a bad connection. I'm sorry, but thanks for the call tonight. You bring up some good stuff. I love talking about music specifically most of the time. But it is weird how me personally, I've turned off the talking box. And that's not to say I don't watch television shows. I do. I still watch television shows without commercials. I mostly download, or I'm watching them on a streaming platform or whatever.
If I don't torrent it, I won't watch it most of the time. I make an exception to chill with my mom.
I've decided to be on purpose about my watching, as opposed to just having it on and
flipping
watching
the channels,
whatever's on, and cruising through all of the with the remote. It's like you're not on purpose. You're not like, oh, I'm excited to watch this thing. No, you're just turning it on
by default.
Yeah, and you're letting all these things be pumped into your brain subconsciously, whether you know it or not. And that's the part that I've wiped out of my life.
Hey, I want to say thanks to Edwardian.
So now I go on Facebook where they tailor it to manipulate me specifically from the NSA.
Yes, you do. Edwardian, thank you to Edwardian for being a Free Talk Live Silver amplifier. He has realized that not only does he want to consume as you're saying, by choice, make a choice about what he wants to consume on the radio or podcast, but he also wants to help other people find it as well.
And that's so awesome.
So he's contributing $5 a month to the AMP program. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. You can go and get signed up just as Edwardian has done. You can use credit card, PayPal, or Bitcoin, BTC, and you'll get some cool benefits, some perks as a result of you being in the AMP program.
They give you perks?
That's right. amp.freetalklive.com, like access to the AMP-only discussion forums on our Discord and also other things.
I think he was referring to drugs.
I think he was as well.
Okay, just checking.
So go to ampamp.freetalklive.com. I was referring to perquisites, which that's what perks is short for. Close.
Hopefully, I mean, that's an expensive proposition, although
we will not be giving away free drugs.
Pretty cool reward. But,
yeah, it doesn't work that way.
Okay, I just want to make sure we're not advertising that.
Nope.
All right. But I do want to thank all of our amplifiers. We do have David in New Mexico calling in. Let's see if I don't screw this up. David in New Mexico, are you with us?
Yeah, me too. Let's see if I don't screw this up.
All right, we'll both do our best not to screw things up. David, what's on your mind tonight? You're on the air.
Well, Captain kicked off the air. Let's see. Cowboy boots. You know why they wear cowboy boots, right? You know, the big tall ones, goes up near almost to the knee.
So that they don't step in cow dung?
No, when you're helping the sheep through the fence, you take one back leg, put it in one boot, and the other back leg, put it in the other boot. It helps keep them in place.
Oh, my God.
And
that's horrible, David.
Why do Scotsmen wear kilts?
I don't know.
I haven't heard that one. Fill me in.
Sheep can hear a zipper a mile away. Why do Irishmen wear kilts?
Oh, I think Scotsman can hear a zipper a mile away. I don't
know. David, it says here that you wade in and take the ass whooping. What does that mean?
Yeah, what nobody said. I wanted to comment on that. But first of all, you did it again. I used to talk to Dave Mustaine on the Periscope. He used to like to go on there. I don't know if he still does.
You talked to Dave Mustaine?
I did, man. He's really cool too.
Doesn't he really talk like this?
This is the app on Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't know what any of this means.
Is this the Twitter app that you're referring to?
Wait, hang on, David. Just to explain to the callers and to nobody, Dave Mustaine is the founding member of the thrash metal band Megadeth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He got kicked out of Metallica because he did too much heroin.
Yeah. And he has a really weird voice that kind of sounds like this.
Yeah, he shouldn't be a singer, but for whatever reason.
I was never a big fan, although I think it was them that did a really good Anarchy in the USA.
They did too, yeah.
Okay, so anyway, David, you were trying to make a point.
Aside from Dave Mustaine, I used to prank him on Periscope. Actually, I made him. I messed with him a little bit. It was kind of fun. He's pretty cool. But yeah, nobody had said something about ass whooping, and so I just wanted to ask. Well, and you said you have to stand up for freedom. So I know you're sick of the subject, but when I continued to call in to KUNM when they told me to stop calling there, when they're a publicly owned and publicly paid for radio station call-in program. Is that wading in and taking the ass whooping? Is that standing up for freedom?
I mean, if you think it is, right? If you feel that your rights have been violated in some way, or...
I'd be more impressed if you started a pirate radio station and competed with them.
That's true. I mean, that would be another way.
That would be cool.
Anything else, David the Pirate?
I was going to ask nobody, do you know in Michigan, I knew a guy, Freudian slip, I knew a guy named Vern Paul, who was from your neck of the woods. Is he relation by chance?
I don't think so.
I don't think...
he was a...
Oddly enough, though, I don't look Armenian. My father is Armenian, so...
and you were adopted, right?
Well, yeah, I was adopted, but I'm it's very unlikely that my biological parents were also named Paul.
All right, David, thank you so much for the call, man. Have a good night. We'll talk to you again later. Thanks to all of our listeners for listening tonight and all of our callers for calling in. We're here 7 nights a week, freetalklive.com, and you can get us also at lrn.fm. Thanks. Peace.
Would it be nice to wake up in the morning whenever you want and work whenever you feel like it? Date women under your terms instead of society's? Be a completely free man? I'm Caleb Jones, and I have taught hundreds of thousands of men how to create low-work, high-income businesses and how to date women under your terms. Watch our free, on-demand replay training with me so you can learn how to create location-independent income and date women the way you want. Go to alpha.freetalklive.com.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at mark@freetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. mark@freetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, mark@freetalklive.com. I'm a little obsessed with My Magic Mud. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, the founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I didn't even know my teeth were coffee stained. A week's worth of use convinced me, and now I use it every 3 or 4 days. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, and I think it cleans better, too. My Magic Mud's available at most local health food stores, Sprouts, Natural Grocers, CVS, Walmart's Natural Beauty Aisle, but I can get it for you for 20% off with coupon code FTL20 at mymagicmud.com. FTL20 mymagicmud.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock is next after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,583, silver at $18.10, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,925. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly